Moments ago, Chief Osceola and Renegade to midfield with the spear. Miami was waiting in the tunnel to come running out and did right on contact. The Canes finally took the field. Miami won the toss and elected to defer. So Florida State will start with the football. Jimbo Fisher has not lost to the Hurricanes since taking over as head coach. 7 straight wins for Florida State over Miami. Now the Hurricanes overall have won 8 consecutive games, with Oklahoma's loss at home to Iowa State. Mark Richt's team now has the 3rd longest win streak in the country. Their last defeat was against Notre Dame last October. Michael Badgley will kick it deep, and Derwin James and Keith Gavin are the return men. James had a touchdown called back last week, but they keep it away from him, and here's Gavin for FSU. And he's past the 25 to the 26-yard line. So James Blackman, true freshman quarterback from just north of Miami in Belle Glade. The first true freshman quarterback to start for Florida State since 1985. Chip Ferguson was the quarterback then, and Mark Richt was a GA at Florida State. In fact, Richt has not coached in this venue since he was the offensive coordinator back in 2000. James Blackman was a year old then. And they run the ball on first down. Past the 35-yard line. Jacquez Patrick still going. Patrick all the way near the Miami 40. What a great way to start the game if you're Noel. 35 yards.
Establish the line of scrimmage is the first priority for this Florida State offense. They come out, heavy formation, heavy set, big personnel, and take the fight right to the Hurricanes to start this game.
Patrick, a junior from Orlando, at 100 yards last week. Here's a swing pass to Nyquan Murray, able to stay in bounds and pushed out after a gain of about 3 on the play. Well, you've watched a lot of tape on Blackman. What have you seen so far? Did some things really well last week in their win.
He looks like a freshman. Some really good moments, but also some moments that leave you scratching your head. He's trying to make sure that there aren't as many peaks and valleys, just be more consistent throughout the ball game.
Again, you saw only 121 yards last week, but had the play of the game. Jimbo Fisher told us he's picking things up quickly, though, for a true freshman. On 2nd and 7, Blackman pumps, throws into traffic. It's knocked away, incomplete.
Well, James Blackman, the young freshman quarterback out of Glade Central High School in Belle Glade, Florida. That's in South Florida now. That's Miami territory. And this is a program that routinely produces NFL talent year in and year out, but they haven't produced quarterbacks. This is going to be the first time we've seen a major contender at the quarterback position at a Power 5 school out of Glade Central. Bright future for this young man.
See how he does here, Tom, in 3rd down and 7 at the 37-yard line of Miami. Blackman forced out of the pocket. An excellent job by Miami downfield covering, and then Chad Thomas chasing Blackman out of play. It's 4th down. Now they do have a kicker in Ricky Aguayo who can kick it this far. The question is, do you want to do that on your first possession? Do you punt or do you go for it on 4th and 7? He's keeping the offense on the field.
They can at least give it some time to think about it. I'd punt and play field position at this point. Certainly don't want to give Miami opportunistic field position, so I'd punt, allow my great defense to take the field against an inexperienced quarterback in Miami, backed up. Hopefully, if in fact this punt lands in a good spot for the Noles.
Well, the problem here is Florida State too much time. They're going to have to burn a timeout, or they just take the penalty.
Delay a game. Yeah. Give them 5 more yards to work with.
Offense, 5-yard, 4th down.
Well, Logan Tyler has struggled this year. Florida State is near the bottom in net punting, but he did have a big one last week against Wake where he pinned the Demon Deacons inside the 10, and that's obviously what they're asking him to do here.
Well, and fellas, when you have an opening drive like you've had here, he doesn't have to be an exceptional punter now because he's got a short field to punt into. All he's got to do is ensure that Miami stays backed up.
Braxton Berrios is the deep man. Berrios lets it go over his head. It checks up at about the 4-yard line. Great job by Logan Tyler, the sophomore. Miami quarterback Malik Rosier from Mobile, Alabama. He's 4-0 as a starter. Takes over for Brad Kaya. Now, 2 of those wins were against Duke, and one was in that crazy 8 lateral game 2 years ago. But last week against Duke, he was outstanding. He did have a pick, but had 2 touchdown passes, almost 300 yards through the air, and he also ran for a score.
It's his athleticism that really adds a new dimension to Mark Richt's offense.
He's got a great security blanket standing next to him, too. And Mark Walton, one of the top running backs in college football. But is Walton healthy? He's been battling an ankle injury all season. We'll find out here. Walton to the 10-yard line. Gives him a little bit of room. Gain of close to 7 on the play. Rosier's mom, Dana Hudson, is here, along with stepfather Ron Hudson, making the 6-hour trek from Miami. That's sunny skies here. Never expected that. They almost moved this game again because of another hurricane. As Rosier's pass is deflected and incomplete. He was trying to set up the screen, and boy, he almost threw a pick 6.
Outstanding job by Josh Sweat, number 9. You'll see he's looping around. He sees that Rosier is going to drop into a screen type of drop. Rosier decides to throw a missile, a fastball, instead of trying to float it over the top. Good play by the defender.
Needed a changeup.
Or a knuckleball, anything over the top.
And Josh Sweat, 6'6", hard to get it over that outstretched arm. 3rd and 3. And Walton is swallowed by DeMarcus Christmas. 4th down. It all started with that great punt, pinning the Hurricanes deep, and now they got to kick it out of their own end. And Tavares McFadden, very dangerous with a football in his hands. And a true freshman punter in Zach Fiegels. You wonder what his nerves are like right now, kicking in this rivalry for the first time. And he almost got that blocked. Terrific punt. Goes out of bounds around the 43. It's a 48-yard boot for Fiegels.
Rivalries are all about passion and emotion. You see the big fella, Christmas, come early.
Let's take a look at this historic rivalry matchup brought to you by Wendy's. 62nd meeting, and Miami leads by 1 win. Florida State has won the last 7 going back to 2009. The last 3 games decided by a total of 10 points, including a 1-point win for FSU last year on a blocked extra point. Seminoles start this drive from their 44-yard line. A swing pass to Keith Gavin, and it's a 6-yard gain to midfield.
James Blackman has had some great moments, but he's also had some frustrating times. Here he is last week. This is a simple screen pass to the right-hand side. This is a JV, junior varsity throw. And this throw right here, the exact next play. The next play, this is an NFL throw. Between 2 defenders, cover 2, he fits it in there somehow. This kid's got big-time arms. Just got to get more consistent.
Patrick trying to find a hole, and it's not there. Wrapped up by Demetrius Jackson for a loss.
Well, fellas, this offense requires a quarterback to do a lot. And I think there's 3 things you got to pay attention to today. Number 1, down and distance and area of the field. James Blackman has to know where he's at, what his line to gain is, and then he's got to be able to communicate the plays coming in from the sideline, personnel groupings, formation, shifts, motions. And then after all that's done, watch him identify and then again get his team set up. Watch the communication between him and his football team prior to each and every snap. You're seeing it right now.
On 3rd and 5, Blackman in trouble. Gets hit a couple of times and finally goes down a sack back at the 42-yard line. Kendrick Norton was there for the Canes. Among the top teams defensively in every category, in particular tackles for loss number 2.
Pressure off the right-hand side. McLeod coming in. He gets picked up, which frees up Shaq Quarterman, the sophomore star at middle linebacker, to add to the pressure. Blackman just has no chance to get rid of the football. It results in a big sack for the Canes defense.
Tyler Berrios lets this one go, and it does not check up this time. It goes into the end zone for a touchback. 57-yard punt, but only a 37-yard net, as Kendrick Norton using Blackman's leg to play the guitar. What's up with that? Hurricane Irma wreaked so much havoc on the South. It seemed like a football game was so trivial. The game originally was set for September 16th, but because of the hurricane, they rescheduled the game. So both teams were off for about 3 weeks. It was like starting training camp again. And they actually thought about moving this game again because of another hurricane, Hurricane Nate. But we actually have sunny skies. There's a little bit of rain in the forecast, perhaps for towards the end of the game, but that hurricane is moving west. They were thinking about moving this game either to Friday night or to noon. Here's a pass play. Rosier completing it near the 30-yard line to the tight end Chris Herndon. Well, last year Mark Richt had a homecoming to Miami, going back, taking a head coaching job where he played quarterback. Look at all the guys that he was around back at the U. But he was at Florida State for 15 years, including winning a couple of national championships as Miami runs the ball, does not get the first down. It'll be 3rd and short. But Rick's last time in this stadium was 2000, the year after Bobby Bowden won his 2nd national championship.
And what a job he's done with Miami. His approval rating right now hovering around 95%.
They try the quarterback sneak here. Rosier on 3rd down, and a timeout was called, it appears, prior to the snap. Timeout by Mark Richt.
Prior to the ball being snapped. Timeout. Miami.
Dwayne Haight is our referee. 3rd and 1 when we come back. This rivalry contest, 62nd meeting, 3rd and 1 Miami.
You see who's in the game. Big number 65 at fullback, Corey Gaynor.
Rosier rolling out, throws high and over the head of Herndon. Some pressure by Brian Burns, and Rosier couldn't complete what seemed like an easy pickup for the 1st down.
Got to make that throw. It's in Malik Rosier. It's a great play call by Mark Richt. A little boot action. You have the backup offensive lineman in at fullback. You have Florida State thinking run. You just can't connect on the pass.
Fiegel's first punt, almost 50 yards out of his own end zone. He's back near his 15-yard line here on 4th and 1. And this is not a good kick. McFadden letting it bounce, but it takes several hops inside the Florida State 20-yard line. A 53-yard punt. So James Blackman back out there at quarterback. He's in for DeAndre Francois. Here's where he got injured against Alabama week 1. Season-ending knee injury. And Francois, the ACC Rookie of the Year in 2016. He was going to make a play for Player of the Year in the conference in 2017.
You expected huge growth from him this year. Just so unfortunate to see his season cut short there in the opener against Alabama. But you know he's hungry. He's prepping and rehabbing, and when he gets healthy again, it's going to be very fun to watch.
So you got the true freshman in there instead at quarterback at 6'5", 169 pounds. That's what he's listed at, and he completes it here to Patrick to the 25, picking up 6 yards. Now they've had 3 good 1st down plays so far offensively, but they just haven't been able to complete those drives, finish them off with points.
And they haven't really taken any shots down the field, trying to work James Blackman into this game plan, get him some confidence early before you start to stretch his arm. One of these days, though, they're going to take a shot downfield.
Miami daring him to do that, stacking the box with 8 guys. They try to run into that 8-man front. Patrick with a great reversal, and he's got room. Gets a block from his quarterback, and into Miami territory. He ripped off a 30-yard run on the first drive. That one goes for 30 again. 39 officially.
This is all because number 22 right there, Sheldrick Redwine. He loses contain. Nothing there inside, and he loses track of Patrick as he got around the edge on the left-hand side. You got to be smart when going against these heavy sets that Florida State will throw at you.
29. Check that officially on the run. First down at the 45-yard line. And this time it is the true freshman Cam Akers, and he is tackled for a loss of 5 on the play. Malik Young in run support from his cornerback spot.
Little corner cat off the edge there, huh, Greg?
Yeah, they'll bring it. They'll bring it.
Yep.
Now, Manny Diaz defensively, the defensive coordinator for Miami, he preaches chaos, 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 and disruption. They'll bring pressures from all over the place. Safeties, corners, linebackers. On any down and distance, anything's possible. You've got to keep your head on the swivel as a quarterback.
He's another former Seminole. He was coach here at Florida State. He was a GA. Blackman throws incomplete. Trying to hit Gavin. So it'll be 3rd down and 15.
See Jimbo Fisher on the sideline gesturing to James Blackman about ball placement. That ball was coming out of his hand 100 miles an hour, and it goes back to what you touched on the last drive, Greg. You got to have some nuance to your throws. Can't be JV one snap and varsity the next.
He'll learn. Every snap is a new opportunity. This young man's going to be fun to watch as he grows over the years.
3rd and 15. See what the freshman does here. Looking downfield, and it's tipped at the line, but a flag comes in late as Blackman got hit. Michael Jackson.
Personal foul.
Left the quarterback.
Roughing the passer. Defense. Number 28. 15-yard penalty. First down.
That's a huge play, obviously, for Florida State there, as they were going to be off the field offensively.
Absolutely can't do it if you're Michael Jackson. That's the easiest call that official will make all day. Clearly the ball is gone. It's tipped at the line of scrimmage by Demetrius Jackson. Well played defensively. You're off the field, especially on 3rd and 15.
Yeah.
And then you give the Noles a fresh set of downs. You can't do that against quality competition.
I know it's a rivalry game. You're jacked up to play, but you got to hold your water. You just hurt your team. First down at the 35. And a huge running lane for Blackman, who dives to the 22-yard line. 13-yard pickup.
You see number 34 on the end of the line of scrimmage. He runs down with the zone read fake, which allows nothing but green grass to the outside for Blackman. Charles Perry took the cheese and allows the true freshman to get out in some free space. Well done. He doesn't run it often, but when he does, you got to be decisive north and south.
All right, the 24-yard line now. It's time to hand it off. Off the left side goes Patrick. Jacquez Patrick running all over this Miami defense so far. It's the 3rd big carry for Patrick, and it's a gain of about 12.
This running game is starting to feel itself after last week. They played a couple great run defenses in NC State and Alabama. Now they are starting to see some opportunities up front in the run game. They got to continue to commit to it.
Patrick again. 235 pounds between the tackles, gets 2 on the play. Joe Jackson on the stop.
Greg, you got to be impressed with the Florida State offensive line to this point. This is a unit that has been subject to much criticism, both internally and publicly, and they're going against the defensive front 7 with Miami. Those 3 linebackers, Michael Pinckney and Shaquille Quarterman and Zach McLeod, they have not been able to make plays and get off of second-level blocks.
And up front, Tom, they were banged up after last week. 3 guys, Derek Kelly, Landon Dickerson, and Cole Minshew, all a little bit beat up after the Wake Forest game. Answering the call now.
Off play action. Blackman looking. Enzo got a man, but he overthrew the intended receiver, Nyquan Murray. Nooney, as they call him, got free in the back of the end zone. Maybe the nerves got to Blackman on the throw. He had him.
He did. And the windows get tighter as you get close to the end zone. And Blackman, They're going to come after him every single snap. This Miami defense is aggressive, they're physical, and they're trying to affect the quarterback. Blackman has to be more accurate in the red zone when the windows are small and the timing is tight.
Chad Thomas said, "You're a true frosh. I'm going to just drive your helmet into the ground." Make you think twice when I come at you next time.
Little gamesmanship.
Happens in a rivalry game, of course, 3rd and 8. And they're going to keep it on the ground with Patrick. Interesting call there. That's got to show that Jimbo Fisher doesn't trust Blackman yet, and also maybe he expects this to be a low-scoring game, right? I mean, why else would you just hand it off there at 3rd down?
You just don't trust your quarterback. And you run it to the middle of the field, too, to make the field goal a little bit more makeable for Aguayo, who's been ice water throughout the course of his career for the most part.
Tell you what, too, Greg, is you've won the field position battle. Get points while you're on a short field.
Absolutely right, Tom.
27-yard attempt for Aguayo's made his last 8 kicks. And that one is on the money, and Florida State with the early lead.
Mark Walton is a star, the running back for Miami. You see him going through the pregame, working that right ankle, no problems. And then you get to the left ankle, not quite the same look. He's been banged up to this point of the season. Still been very productive, but he hasn't been quite as explosive or powerful as he was a year ago. We'll keep an eye on that left ankle and see if it affects him moving forward throughout this game.
He's number 2 in the country in yards per carry and number 5 nationally in yards rushing. Overall, 403. Florida State strikes first with a short field goal by Aguayo. And now a touchback. Miami will start at the 25 as we check in with Adnan Burke.
Good afternoon, Dave Pash, PlayStation View, Multi-View. Of course, we've got this game right now on ESPN. Also want to let you know Notre Dame and UNC is over on ABC. Scoreless so far on ESPN2. It's Minnesota and Purdue. Gophers have the lead. Dave, back to you.
All right, Adnan, and an upset earlier today in the top 5 with Oklahoma going down at home. Florida State trying to upset Miami. The Seminoles have won 7 straight in the series. A lot of people saying, if not now, when for Miami. But I'm talking with Jimbo Fisher yesterday. We asked him, is this the best Miami team you faced? He said, no. He said they've been pretty much the same the last several years. And if Mark Walton's not 100%, they're definitely not the best team that Fisher's played against in his tenure. Walton's on the sideline here. And they dump the pass off to Jeff Thomas, a true freshman, lined up in the backfield. And the Seminoles are all over that.
Well, they might be giving Mark Walton just a bit of a rest here. And to follow up with Greg on that ankle injury, it wasn't an ankle twist, wasn't ligament or tendon related. He actually got hit, so it's more of a bone bruise type situation where he's dealing with pain tolerance. So they'll continue to work Jeff Thomas, the young freshman, and Travis Homer, as you see in there right now, number 24, next to Rosier.
Homer's averaging 8 yards a carry, so he's had a good start to the year so far. McFadden coming on a blitz. Rosier going downfield, and it's incomplete. Lawrence Cager went up high for that one. Couldn't pull it in with Levante Taylor in coverage. It'll be 3rd and 10.
If you're Rosier, you love the matchup. Cager at 6'5". Taylor at just a hair over 5'10". He had a chance at it. It's a good no call, too, by the officials. Some contact, but I think it was well within the rules.
He's got to make that catch, Greg.
You have to. If you're a 6'5" receiver and you're giving up that much of an advantage, you got to come down with those contested catches.
Look at McFadden, too, creeping up on the line again. Now he backs off. And Florida State was offside. Free play here for Miami. Rosier throws complete to Berrios. He doesn't get the first down, so they'll take the penalty here, and it'll be 3rd down and 5. Well, McFadden was almost offside on 2nd down. This time FSU is definitely in the neutral zone on the snap.
Offside. Defense. Number 3. 3rd down.
Yeah, you can see right here at the end of the line of scrimmage. Very obvious that he's in the neutral zone.
Joshua Campbell.
Official, yeah.
Charles Kelly, the D coordinator for FSU. See what he does up here on 3rd and 5. All old safety Darrell James lined up over the ball right now, standing up there. Rosier, another shot down the field, and Berrios trying to get there. The defender does first and breaks up the pass. Incomplete. A.J. Westbrook. Carlos Becker in coverage as well.
You don't see plays like this in the secondary every week. We go to games all the time, and it's rare to see that kind of range. Berrios is working on a corner route, running away from the free safety. A.J. Westbrook flies over the top and showcases world-class speed. Unbelievable play.
How about this, Greg? Miami's blown a second time out here. Yeah. In the first quarter. All right, so it'll be 4th down and 5. We'll see what Miami does. Imagine they're punting here. Not sure why Mark Rick called the timeout. Any surprises so far in this one?
No, not so far. I've been very impressed by Florida State trying to commit to the run game and not putting James Blackman in a difficult situation. You see them getting in fullback, tight ends, multiple tight ends, and running downhill right at this Miami team. They haven't been tested yet, and Miami so far in the first quarter having a difficult time containing the run game for the Seminoles.
You think it's fair to say that Miami's season starts now? Everybody wants to know, are the Canes back? Their defense looks so good against Duke, and all respect to Duke, but it's still Duke. The offense, though, not quite there, and we're seeing that today.
They haven't seen personnel like this. They've seen good, well-coached football team in Toledo and against Duke. Very well coached, execute at a high level, but they haven't seen NFL talent across the board like Florida State has.
Miami having some issues again getting lined up here. McFadden under this one, signaling, and it's fair caught at the 30-yard line, 45-yard punt. Earlier today, we celebrated Lee Corso's 300th headgear selection. And he went with the Horned Frogs, who are playing West Virginia. The former Florida State quarterback, Lee Corso, through the years has picked Florida State 19 times. He's picked 7 Miami wins. He's 2-3 all-time picking this game.
What a treasure. We love you, Coach.
Florida State back on offense. Blackman wide open in the middle of the field for a first down. Ryan Izzo, the tight end, just his 4th catch of the season. And it's a gain of 17.
Just a simple little smash, snag, flat route. It's a nice, easy progression for James Blackman. And a good job by Izzo sliding inside, giving his quarterback some room, and a good call by Randy Sanders and Jimbo Fisher.
They'll go back to the ground here, and it is Akers, the true freshman, staying in bounds, and then lowering the boom on the defender. A flag comes in, pushing and shoving, per usual, between these two teams. Redwine got lit up like a Cabernet on that one. I hope they're not calling a penalty on Florida State for that hit by Akers.
Well, they better not, guys. If they call targeting on Akers right there, that would be egregious.
There's no way.
I mean, Akers was out of bounds, but what's he supposed to do? The defender's coming flying at him.
That's what I think they might be looking at, is whether or not it's a late hit out of bounds.
Oh, he was tight roping the sideline.
I don't think you can call it. If that's what they call it here, I'll be disappointed.
Maybe, I mean, Redwine hit him wrong. He was already out of
There
bounds.
is no foul on a play for a late hit. Result of the play, first down.
Yeah, that was a bang-bang play. As soon as Cam Akers' left foot went out of bounds, it was within a yard or a step when Redwine actually made the hit. Or should I say, when Cam Akers made the hit. Redwine, the converted corner, not the biggest safety in the world. He felt the boom on that one.
Already 92 yards on the ground for Florida State, mixing Patrick and Akers. from the 41 of the Canes. Here's play action. Blackman on the rollout, and he throws it away. He wanted to take a shot down the field to Keith Gavin, but it was an excellent read by the safety, Jaquan Johnson, to get back there as Gavin was streaking down the numbers.
So far on 1st and 10, we've seen Jimbo Fisher throw the ball a number of times. He's run it a couple, but it's been all about picking up yards through the air on early downs, and they've been successful to this point. Behind the sticks now on 2nd and 10.
He'll give it to Akers, trying to cut it back. And Akers to the 37-yard line. Robert Knowles on the stop. He'll pick up a 4 on 1st down. Akers lost his helmet. He's got to come out for a play.
Tell you what, Akers is showing more physicality today than I have seen from him in the first 3 games. Usually he's trying to bounce everything to the outside. Today, he's lowering his shoulder and delivering some blows. You see why he was one of the top-rated recruits in the country at the running back position, Tom.
Yeah, #1 ranked running back who was a 4-year starter at quarterback. So he's had a lot to learn in his transition here in year 1.
So Jaquez Patrick replaces Akers here. 3rd down and 6. Blackman, and the receiver didn't turn in time, and so Gavin, by the time he turned around, the ball was there, and he couldn't hang on. 4th down.
It's a great job by James Blackman. Anticipating the throw. It's in the air right now. Look at it. Ball's halfway there before Gavin turns around. That's a well-thrown football. Gavin's got to come up with it. And good coverage, too. If that throws a half-second later, it could have been broken up.
We were practice on Thursday. He had 2 or 3 drops. Tyler's been good punting so far. And Berrios again, the deep man. And Florida State able to keep it from going into the end zone. How about that? Nazrul Dean was down there for FSU, or are they saying a touchback? They're saying it's a touchback, that it crossed the plane to where the ball is, not the man, and they're ruling that it crossed the plane. It's a touchback, comes out to the 20.
Wow, that was close. They're going to have to take another look at that, I would imagine. That's a huge play.
So hard to tell, though, right? A replay, and whether it crosses there?
You have to have indisputable video evidence. I would think that they would take a peek at it, or at least a half-second look. But remember, it has to show that indisputable video evidence on the replay to overturn it.
So 1st down for Miami on its 20-yard line. Mark Walton is back in, and he gets the call here off the left side. He lowers the shoulder and runs over Westbrook. He's 200 pounds. Mark Walton able to lower the shoulder there and pick up 5 yards.
And that's the type of run right there where that left ankle will be tested. He's running from right to left, kind of running a loop. That left ankle is going to be tested on those perimeter runs to the left. Looked just fine on that one.
Here's Walton again, trying to find a hole. It's not there. Good job up front by Florida State. They'll give him a yard, so 3rd down coming up.
Miami's got to start making some hay on 3rd down, Greg. They have just been abysmal getting the ball past the yard to gain, and they haven't been able to complete any passes downfield on 3rd down.
They're in a tough spot right now. They've gotten crushed from a field position standpoint. Their average drive starts their own 17, and they're 0 for 3 on 3rd down.
Jalen Wilkerson is hurt for Florida State. And Greg, Tom, it really looks like Notre Dame's about to start rolling. Their offense has really gotten going, even with Wimbush not playing today.
Yeah, they're a much better team than North Carolina, but Notre Dame, we're going to learn who they are in the second half of the season. Their first 6 games, relatively manageable. Their next 6, it's on a whole nother level. They'll be facing a lot of ACC foes that are outstanding and very well regarded in the second half of the season.
Including a game at the U November 11th. 3rd and 4 for Miami. Some movement up front. No flag. Rosier trying to pick it up with his feet, and he's able to get the first down. So this game here in 2017 we thought would be all about defense, and that's the story through one quarter in Tallahassee. 3-0 Florida State. Well, for Miami to be successful, it has to run the football. It did not in that first quarter. In fact, 24 yards total for the Hurricanes. Florida State had 124, had the ball for over 10 minutes, but only 3 points, so that's disappointing if you're a Seminole fan. Meanwhile, Malik Rosier making his 5th career start for Miami. Just got a first down with his feet from the 32. Walton again can't find a hole. Able to get back to the line of scrimmage. No gain. Brian Burns on the stop. Taco Bell, a proud partner of the college football playoff. Be on the lookout for Taco Bell student sections and passionate fans like these at games all season long. And just being around Tallahassee the last couple of days, we've seen a lot of houses divided. We saw just today at breakfast several married couples, one wearing a Seminole outfit and the other the U. Single coverage. Amon Richards, one of the top young receivers in college football, picks up close to 15 on the play. Just his 4th catch of the year because he missed the first 2 games of the season with a hamstring injury. Yeah, they need to get him involved. You see early in the second quarter, say we got to get our stars going. We got Walton going a little bit. We got to get Rosier dialed in the passing game, and let's find 82 for a couple plays. Back to the ground. Again, nothing for Walton. Able to stretch forward and get maybe 2.
They need to keep finding Amon Richards, number 82, because that time he was lined up against number 8, Stanford Samuels, who they really like, but he's just a true freshman. And that is not a matchup that Florida State wants to be in all day on defense. And now he's going to be going to the other side. That's right. There you go. Against Tavares McFadden. That's the matchup they want. Corners in the game.
I think it's a matchup we may be seeing for a lot of years to come.
Some pressure coming on the left side here.
And at the next level, both guys considered prospects. Rozier's pass, there was contact before the ball arrived by Florida State. Pass was intended for Cager. Samuels, a true freshman, looked like he got there before the ball, but no flag.
Yeah, he's trying to work a little bit of an in route, and there was a little contact. The receiver, a little ginger coming out of it too. Cager, he's got to burst across on that in breaker and allow his quarterback some space to work. Bad route by Cager.
Rosier, who was named the starting quarterback 11 days before the opener on 3rd and long. Wow, that was ugly. I don't know what happened there. Derwin James trapped it. It's incomplete. That came out of his hand funny. 4th down.
This is one of those where Rosier is looking at his wide receiver. He's like, I got him, I got him, I got him. Oh wait, number 3, no. Try to pull the trigger. You see he's just kind of tries to stop himself from letting go of it. The ball dies like a sinker.
Wishes that was on a yo-yo string, Greg.
I'll tell you what, that happens though. Even some of the best ones get fooled in coverage.
Here's Fiegels to punt, and may have gotten blocked, may have gotten tipped there. It works out well. Rolls down near the 12-yard line, so 39-yard punt. Brian Burns, who already blocked a punt this year, the 2nd time in his career, may have gotten a piece of that one. All right, and then here in Tallahassee, it is 3-0 Florida State. You see Miami with just 40 yards of total offense. Seminoles with their first drive of the second quarter, starting from their 12-yard line. And here's Gavin on the pitch. Past the 15 for about 4.
Florida State's done a great job on the ground at this point, but Miami defensively, look at their 2 linebackers, Michael Pinckney Shaq Quarterman, number 55, they're extremely aggressive, and they've found themselves getting out of position on multiple plays, which allowed big runs for the Florida State offense. They got to be more disciplined and fit the gap a little tighter than they are right now.
On 2nd and 6, they hand it off. Miami is all over that one. Excellent job up front by Kendrick Norton. Trent Harris taking down the running back Jaquez Patrick for no gain on the play.
Florida State's had a lot of success on 1st down, but 2nd down and 3rd down have been a bit of a problem to this point.
Now, the longer the 3rd down gets, the more difficult, obviously, it is to convert, especially when you got a true freshman. This is 3rd and 5. Let's see how he handles this. You're asked to do a lot as a quarterback in this offense. And down goes the quarterback, Blackman, as Demetrius Jackson sacks him back at the 5-yard line. The ball may have come out. It did, but it was recovered by Florida State. 11-yard loss. They're going to have to punt from their end zone.
Time and time again, you've seen this group from Miami really do a great job affecting the passer. They go with a twist on the right side, but on the left side, Demetrius Jackson goes one-on-one against number 69, Landon Dickerson, and beats him with relative ease, resulting in the sack. They've done such a good job getting after the passer and making plays in the backfield, and Florida State struggled with it.
Heads up play by the right tackle Rick Leonard, jumping on that loose ball back at the 4-yard line. Excellent punt. Berrios backing up from the 43. And Berrios going to lose a lot. Taken down back at the 33-yard line by Nasruddin. A penalty flag is thrown late, though. Had a lot of long discussions by the officials so far before announcements. We saw him pick up a flag earlier on what the officials initially were going to call a late hit. See if they pick up the flag again.
During the return, personal foul, face mask, number 8 of the receiving team. 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
You almost never see that. Berrios, the return man, is called for a face mask. After a 52-yard punt, this is going to put the ball back close to the 30-yard line. See Berrios there with the left hand in the grill of Nasruddin, call for the penalty. Ball State is proud to be part of the team that comes together to do good by contributing to participating universities' general scholarship funds for each field goal and extra point kicked. To date, All State has contributed millions in scholarship funds. Miami coming in averaging 237 yards per game on the ground, but just 17 yards so far. And a 73-yard flip of the field after a great punt by Florida State, plus the face mask on the return man, Braxton Berrios, and that puts the ball at the Miami 21. Malik Rosier, the junior quarterback, going to keep it here, and he's spun down for a loss at the 20-yard line as we check in with Adnan.
Don't count Oklahoma out yet.
2nd down and 11 over the middle. It is juggled and then incomplete. Richards just couldn't hang on. Looked like a drop.
It was.
It was a drop, but it doesn't matter who Amon Richards goes against. He's creating separation, because that time was against McFadden on the same route he had to catch earlier against the true freshman.
Yeah, and this Miami offense is just really struggling to get into any rhythm. A lot of credit is deserved to Florida State. They are playing great on defense so far.
Florida State backs off, rushes just 3 on 3rd and long. Rosier's pass is way off the mark, incomplete, intended for Cager. So a 3 and out for the Hurricanes, and they'll have to punt. Rosier's parents here in the crowd. 62nd all-time meeting between Florida State and Miami. 3 wide rights, a wide left, another wide right, and then the block at the Rock last year. We already had a block by Florida State earlier on a punt. And this one takes a Miami hop near the 32. 48-yard punt. You love punting. This chapter of the rivalry's for you. Dave Pasch, Greg McElroy, Tom Luganville, and Tallahassee. Our Aflac trivia question. Miami with 30 NFL draft first-round picks since 2000, most in the FBS. All right, who's number 2?
Since 2000. I'm going to say Ohio State. Since 2000. That's the big one, right?
Tom, what do you got? Quick.
I think Ohio State as well.
You guys looked. Blackman in trouble here. Trying to get back to the line of scrimmage. He's dragged down by R.J. McIntosh for a sack. That's his 3rd sack of the year. First time this year you guys get it right. First time I think in the last 2 years you get it right.
My goodness.
5 years for me.
Yeah.
27 for Ohio State. Alabama 3rd.
See Florida State, obviously. The amount of talent that's on the field right now is truly off the charts. These two teams for the last few decades have been so incredible.
Amir Rasul is in the game at running back. Instead, it's a pass out on the flat to Murray. Grabbed at the ankles and brought down after a pickup of 6. And we check in with Adnan. Don't sleep on Ohio State getting back into the conversation, although obviously Oklahoma losing today doesn't help their cause.
Right. Still have Penn State and Michigan, and if you win the Big Ten with 1 loss, I like their chances.
3rd and 5. Blackman to throw. Everybody covered. Blackman taken off and will not get the first down. McIntosh there again, and now Blackman is hurt.
Went down very awkward as he got grabbed from behind. Not all that dissimilar to the way DeAndre Francois went down. And a couple plays earlier when he got sacked on 1st down, went down and got up a little gingerly. Something to keep an eye on. This Florida State offensive line having a tough time in pass protection, but have been okay in the run game to this point for sure.
Logan Tyler getting his name called a lot on TV today. This is a moon ball. It didn't go very far, but it takes another bounce inside the 30-yard line. It springs underneath the grass here at Doak Campbell. Meanwhile, James Blackman, they're taping that right ankle. He got dragged down on a sack. He's been sacked 3 times by Miami so far today. The backup is J.J. Cosentino, who played a couple years ago in the Peach Bowl because of an injury. 1st and 10. Rosier struggling, but not on that pass. On target. 1st down. True freshman Jeff Thomas. Gain of 11.
And they have to get the quick passing game going for Malik Rosier. Before that pass, he was only 3 of 11. He has to get into a rhythm to soften up this defense, because Florida State, when they know what's coming, they're very difficult to push around.
So that's only the 7th play they've gotten positive yardage on here in the 1st half. Rosier will throw again. And this one is knocked away by McFadden, intended for Richards. It's a great matchup. Keep an eye on throughout the game.
Yeah, it is. And you referenced it earlier. This is not the last time we will see this matchup. Amon Richards, the sensational sophomore. And of course, McFadden, one of the best defensive backs in the land. Few teams will test him. But with Amon Richards out there, if I'm Rosier, I might give it a couple more looks. But with coverage that tight, it's going to be tough to get a lot of completions.
Think about it. He had 8 picks last year. That's a ton for a guy that it doesn't get thrown at a lot. As they run Walton here, just trying to get anything to make it 3rd and manageable. There's a penalty flag down. They get about 3 yards. if it holds up. Miami's offense just can't get out of its own way right now.
Block in the back. Offense, number 82. 10-yard penalty. Still, second down.
Richards with a drop, and now a penalty on a block in the back.
Just a dumb penalty. It's unnecessary. Those are the mistakes you can't make. Not against a defense that is this much potential and quality throughout. This defense is one of the best in the country, and if you're constantly in a second and long situation, you're going to have a very difficult time sustaining drives.
I think Jimbo Fisher was thinking about declining that penalty. He was trying to figure out, okay, what is 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8? And once he got that information from the officials, he decided, okay, let's back him up.
If you're Miami right here, since Florida State's been barreling down, it might be time to go with a little bit of a screen pass or something to one of your wide receivers in space.
When and how will Mark Richt make adjustments? Play action. Rosier takes off. Rosier gets knocked down hard at the 35-yard line by Matthew Thomas. Little forearm shiver to get him to the ground. Get back to the line of scrimmage. 3rd and long.
What a hit, Matthew Thomas. And a good job right there by Malik Rosier. 2nd and long. Nothing's there. You see some green grass in front. Go north and south to set up a little bit more manageable 3rd down. If I'm him, I'm looking for Amon Richards, testing that matchup against McFadden.
3rd down and 9. Rosier to the air. Wrapped up and brought down. Brian Burns. Last year, as a freshman, had almost 10 sacks. He may have gotten back to the line of scrimmage there, so it wouldn't officially be a sack for Burns, but still a great play to force a punt.
Burns isn't the biggest guy on the field, only around 227 pounds. Man, he's quick.
Another fantastic punt. Fair catch made at the 16-yard line.
Well, fellas, anytime you have a matchup of this magnitude, that means you're going to have wars in recruiting as well. And everybody and their brother wants to dip down in to South Florida. Take a look at these 3 counties. Palm County, Broward County, and Miami-Dade. And look at the numbers. But Miami-Dade, Florida State's gotten 4 prospects out of there. So when you consider a Kelvin Benjamin that went to Glade Central, Dalvin Cook that went to Miami Central, you get a handful of guys each and every year. It doesn't have to be 20. We get a couple out of Miami's territory, you're going to build quite an impressive roster.
That might be the most talented county in the country, Tom.
Well, there ain't no doubt, and everybody has parked their car in that county.
1st down to the 17 for Florida State. Off the left side goes Jaquez Patrick. Another terrific scamper by Patrick for 9 as we check in with Adnan. As Patrick gets some help to the sideline.
Greg, Dave, that's an injury to keep track of because, and Greg mentioned it earlier in the 1st quarter, the young freshman Cam Akers has yet to square his pads and become that downhill figure. That's exactly what Jaquez Patrick brings to this offense. Let's see what Akers can do stepping in now.
They had the same issue initially with Dalvin Cook, trying to get him to just keep it between the tackles and say to the young guy, okay, 3 or 4 yards, that's okay. You'll get your 70-yarder at some point. They just need 2 here to get a 1st down. Akers trying to get outside. And he gets the 1st down. Another big hit in the secondary between D. Delaney and the running back Akers.
And getting back to Akers, it was funny talking to Jimbo Fisher yesterday. He said, man, when he doesn't score a touchdown on every single snap, it's like he's disappointing you. That's what he's done the last 4 years as a star in Mississippi. So now when he's going against guys that are equal in talent, it's okay to gain 7 yards. It's not a bad place. He's learning, but man, is he going to be a good one here in the years to come.
7 yards, you'll be 5th in the country in yards per carry. He gets about 5 or 6 here.
There it is. That's what you want right there.
Yeah, and finishing runs north and south. And don't try to run to the outside the way you've always done. But Tom, you said it. When you're a quarterback and you're doing zone read schemes, which is exactly what Cam Akers did when he was a high school player, your whole world is on the perimeter.
Right.
You're outside the tackles all the time. Now that he's having to run between, it takes some nuances and some learning to get on the level of some of the great backs we've seen in years past here in Tallahassee.
Akers again, and this time he's drilled by Michael Pinckney. Remember last year you had the 3 linebackers for Miami, Quarterman, Pinckney, and McLeod. They were all true freshmen starting for Miami.
Got to be impressed here with Jimbo Fisher. Guys, Jaquez Patrick goes down, and you line up, and you hand it to the young true freshman in 3 consecutive plays.
Now 3rd and 5, so they're trying to keep Blackman in 3rd and medium. Obviously they love 3rd and short, but he's 0 for 6 on 3rd down. Did have a drop earlier by Gavin. Blackman, and it's Gavin making the catch out near midfield. 14 yards on the pickup.
A great job by James Blackman. You see the pressure coming around the edge. They decide to bring Pinckney and vacate the middle of the field with that zone pressure. It's exactly the area of the field that they work. A good job by the quarterback recognizing that green grass and finding his receiver in stride.
From the Seminole 47-yard line, Akers trying to find a hole. He does, and tripped up by Jaquan Johnson. Otherwise he may have had that big run. He's still got 8.
Well, this is the best Cam Akers has looked. This drive right here, this is the best I've seen him early in his college career. You see that decisive one-cut running that we saw for so many years from Dalvin Cook. Some people think that Cam Akers, his future could resemble that of the former Knoll star.
Cook now with the Vikings, obviously dealing with injury there in Minnesota this year. Unfortunate. 1st down and more for Akers inside the Miami 40. Both Patrick and Akers and that offensive line, you mentioned it earlier, Greg, banged up on the left side, but right now they are owning the line of scrimmage, just leaning on that Miami front.
Yeah, they are. That running game is really starting to get going, and that's exactly what Jimbo Fisher has always done. Yeah, he's had great quarterbacks, 3 first-rounders, but it's about the run game. That's the starting point.
They have all their timeouts. They're inside the Miami 40-yard line, but here's a good play by Chad Thomas. Wrapping up Akers for a loss. They came in averaging 9 tackles for a loss per game. They've already had a handful, including 3 sacks. Second-year D coordinator Manny Diaz, former student at Florida State.
Jaquez Patrick back in the game now at tailback, guys.
He has to come in for 2nd and 14. Blackman a throw. And underneath to Patrick. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. So 3rd and long coming up.
I tried to get with a little Vegas screen, but no pressure coming from Miami. The linebackers were easily able to rally to the throw. You got to be smart with the clock here too. I think Jimbo Fisher obviously thinking about letting that clock run all the way down. So if in fact they do have to give it back to Miami, it will be with minimal time and only 1 timeout.
Run play here. Just try to get a chunk.
I would throw it. I would throw it. I would throw it downfield. That's what James Blackman does best early in his career.
He's going to throw it on 3rd down and 15. And over the middle, it's picked off. He threw it way over the head of the tight end Ryan Izzo, and Michael Jackson with a diving interception. Caught it with his glove. And they're trying to get the turnover chain. I mean, look, he's jumping up and down saying, where's my chain? They give a necklace each time you get a turnover, and Michael Jackson's got it right now.
Just make sure he caught it. This ACC crew will look at it from every angle. Doesn't catch it initially, but does he secure it before he hits the ground? Appears like he does. Catastrophic mistake right there from James Blackman.
Well, and it may not
The
be,
ruling
Greg.
on the field is an interception. The previous play is under review.
It may not be, Greg, because Miami hasn't been able to get the length of their pinky finger on offense. So if you consider the field position battle having been won by Florida State, that wasn't ideal, but the way this defense is playing, it may not kill them.
He needs to, of course, take another look at it. Remember, has to be indisputable video evidence to overturn. Now, he doesn't catch it initially, but does Jackson's left hand get under the ball and secure it before it hits the ground?
I think the glove was well placed under the ball.
You keep referencing the glove. Michael Jackson, the glove. We get it.
Well, I wasn't sure as a millennial if you would catch that, Greg. I know Luganville got it.
Oh,
He's old like me.
I love it.
Now, it can touch the ground as long as you possess it and control it.
Yes.
And again, it's got to be beyond all doubt to overturn the ruling on the field. Bob
Remember,
Welch is our replay
if you
official.
complete the action of the catch, a ball can touch the ground.
It can, as long as it's secured.
Game Day Operations Center in Greensboro gets involved as well. That'll be the first interception of the season for Blackman if it stands. And given the fact this guy's a true freshman trying to learn this offense, which Jameis Winston mastered, the fact that's just his first interception
After
of the
review,
season.
the ruling on the field stands. First down.
And Malik Jackson, he's happy he got the pick. He's even more happy he gets to keep the necklace and the chain. That's their 6th takeaway this year. With possession, but they haven't moved the ball at all, and they only have 1 timeout left.
Yeah, those early timeouts that they had to burn on 4th downs of all things, coming back to bite them.
Rosier unloads downfield, and it is incomplete. Berrios couldn't hang on. Here's Adnan.
All right, Dave, thank you very much. We're efforting our own necklace and chain. We'll talk to the props department. But coming up on the Lexus halftime report, the Sooners lose a huge one. 7th straight year, they're a double-digit favorite. They lose. So what does that mean now for TCU? Jesse Palmer and Joey Galloway breaking down the big picture in the Big 12. Dave?
All right, Rosier throws. It's nearly intercepted by Derwin James, stepping in front of the receiver. James, one of the best safeties in the country, missed most of last year with an knee injury. Last time Miami scoreless in the first half, that was 2 years ago against North Carolina on the road. They got blown out. That was before Mark Richt's arrival. Now 3rd and 10. Florida State's thinking we might get the ball back here. So let's see what Mark Richt calls here. Does he play it safe and just hand it off? Rosier has really struggled. 4 of 15 passes. Here, if you're Mark Richt,
I'd run it.
coming after him, gets rid of it, almost intercepted again. McFadden. There's a penalty marker down. He got tangled up with Amon Richards. Flag was thrown in the backfield. Brian Burns got pressure.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense. Number 9. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Well, Miami had one of those earlier. Now it's Florida State's turn for the dumb penalty to keep the drive alive late in the quarter.
Oh, that was close. That was bang, bang. It's not often that you see a call made like that. That certainly wasn't egregious.
I think that's a bad call,
I
Greg.
think so too, Tom.
That's the act of the tackle.
And that's coming from 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
For the first time this year, 3 guys agree because I'm with you guys. On first down, Rosier sack. And no flag. Josh Sweat. Just a 2nd sack of the year after 7 last year. One of the top recruits in the country a couple years ago. And a timeout called here by Miami. That is the final timeout by the Hurricanes. Well, if you're Florida State, I mean, you're 0-2 for the first time in 3 decades. You go to play a Wake Forest team that's really good defensively. You sneak out of there with a win. And you got a true freshman quarterback, and you're playing lights out defensively right now.
Yeah, but you knew that your defense was going to be exceptional coming into the year. All the personnel back, all the stars, all the players that have a lot of long future ahead of them on Sundays. Now they're having to lean on them because of the injury to Francois. But you start to see the running game getting going too, which has got to be a sign that this team's starting to understand who they are. Their defense, they can lean on them, but that run game could become pretty special if this offensive line continues to improve. But Miami hasn't had much of a pulse offensively all day.
First sack of the game for FSU. Rosier running here, trying to get some yardage back. That's interesting. They called the timeout. Now let's see if they hustle 3rd and long, or if they just say, you know what, we're just going to let the clock run down here. Had 12 guys on the field at one point. 3rd and 13. Rosier going downfield. Oh, he had a man, but he overthrew Lawrence Cager. There was a defender who was barreling down on Cager, but he was open.
He had him for a minute. But man, that's a tough throw. A very tough throw. And that's a small window considering the ball's traveling 40 yards downfield. Rosier tried to make it, probably pressing a little bit. He's lucky he didn't throw his wide receiver into a massive blow up in the back end.
Rosier, 2 of his last 13, and you saw that they haven't run a play in Miami territory. So the fair catch made by McFadden with 3 seconds left. Let's see if Florida State lets Blackman, who has decent arm, to throw it deep, or if they just take a knee and go to halftime with a 3-0 lead.
I think you kneel on it, especially given the way Miami's been able to get after the passer today. Already 3 sacks registered by the Canes defense. So kneel on it, go into halftime feeling good about what your team's done to this point.
Plus, if you get it picked off deep, remember Miami's got that lateral thing mastered. Don't know if you want that to happen again. 3-0 Florida State at halftime. Let's go back to the studio. You're watching the ACC on ESPN. Florida State leads Miami as we get ready for quarter number 3. 3-0. The Noles trying to get back to 500. Miami trying to stay unbeaten. The opposite of gaudy numbers in the first half for both teams. 54 yards of offense for Miami. Now they had the ball half the amount of time that Florida State, and the Seminoles could only muster 163 and a field goal. We'll see what kind of adjustments both offensive-minded head coaches make here, if they can make them with their personnel. Tyler's kick will result in a touchback, and Miami will start on the 25. 1959. That's the lowest scoring game in the series. You weren't around, because I know I wasn't around. Our parents may not have been around either. That was 7-6, by the way, in case you're wondering. Miami won it. Bad offense, really good defense, combination of both.
Combination of both. You have to give credit to what these defenses are doing. At the line of scrimmage, they are not getting pushed around whatsoever, especially when you look at what Florida State is doing defensively, who will get the start here in the second half. These 2 defensive tackles, both Noddy and Christmas, have been a handful for the Canes to this point.
530 punt yards combined between these 2 teams. Rosier up a pump fake, taking a shot down the field, and almost intercepted by McFadden. Did a great job, but they call a flag. Boy, it looked like he had good coverage that time and almost picked off the ball.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 4. 15 penalty. First half.
Look at McFadden right here. Never looks back at the football. That's going to get called every single time. Now, it was tight coverage. If he just turns over his right shoulder and looks back at the football, it's not only not a pass interference, it could be an interception.
Westbrook still almost got it on the redirection, but because of the foul, first down at the 40-yard line for Miami. They come out throwing here. It's deflected and almost picked off by Matthew Thomas. Wow.
Man, Matthew Thomas, talk about reading eyes really quick. Rosier's eyes to the left. Thomas drops right underneath the stop route on the left-hand side, almost picks it off. Just too much juice on the ball from Rosier.
You got to wonder about the health of Mark Walton. They're coming out throwing it on first down, and Rosier is 4 of 17. You're going to throw it again here. Berrios out in space, and it's a good pickup. Banged out a play at the 48-yard line. Derwin James on the hit, gain of about 8.
And I think they're throwing it because they recognize that they have a significant disadvantage in the trenches right now. Based on the way the first half played out, running the ball is not the answer because of these defensive tackles and this defensive front seven for Florida State.
And especially if your #1 tailback's not 100%. That was a terrific throw by Rosier. That's his guy, Braxton Berrios. They were one-time roommates. And they have a connection. Berrios has as many catches now this season than he had all of last year. Well, Brad Kai was the quarterback.
It's been very reliable and has uncovered on multiple occasions for Rosier. Just a quick slot receiver that's very versatile.
From the Florida State 47. Rosier on the quarterback keeper. And he gets leveled as he went for the slide. No flag, though, as Myers came in with a hit. So they come out throwing to try to open up the run game. And the quarterback picks up about 5.
Miami getting back to some of those RPO concepts with bubbles by the slot receivers and zone read between the running back and the quarterback, having success early.
First time Miami's been in Florida State territory. A pass break up at the 25-yard line by Westbrook. Earned in the tight end was the intended receiver.
This offense has got to become more diverse in some of their route patterns and their concepts. I mean, they've become predictable right now, Greg. You've had slants by the inside guys off the zone read action, slants by the outside targets, and Amon Richard off of the zone read action, and really nothing else. So these Florida State defenders are in position to make the play.
And look how close to the line of scrimmage all these defenders are. They're a confident group, and they're going to challenge every throw.
No down lineman. All standing up. Coming after Rosier here on 3rd down and 5. Going deep for Berrios. Berrios adjusts. Makes a terrific grab. A penalty flag is down. Did Berrios push up? Yes, he did. That'll be on him. And negates a 35-yard reception.
Pass interference. Offense. #8. 15-yard penalty. 3rd down.
What a huge call. Look at Berrios. Oh, that's very obvious with his left hand. You see him right to the back of Kyle Myers' jersey, and Myers goes flying forward. Good call by the official. That doesn't always get called, especially when you don't see extension by the wide receiver. It's a great eye by this ACC officiating crew.
Now you're 3rd and 20. Still haven't handed it off to Walton at all in this drive. Do they do it here and just play conservatively and go for field position? Nope, they're going to let Rosier sling it, and he's looking downfield. How did a receiver get open? Amon Richards on 3rd and 20 down the sideline, and they move the sticks 33 yards.
How did a receiver get open? How did Miami's best receiver get open is the better question. McFadden just in a cover 2. His responsibility is the flat. The safety's late getting over the top. It's a big-time throw from Rosier.
Rosier will keep it here off the left side. He's got running room. Gets a huge block. It was Richards unloading on A.J. Westbrook. And that gets the Cane fans fired up. Westbrook is hurt.
What a hit.
Is that legal?
It is, but that is a lot of contact. You can see he lowers his head. It's all on the shoulder.
He was in front of him.
He's in front of him. It's legal. It's within the rules. It's just a bang-bang collision. And credit Miami and this wide receiver group. Over the last couple years, they've been one of the best blocking wide receiver groups I've seen in college football.
Back in a moment.
Watch me
Rivalries in college football. We've had just about everything so far except touchdowns. Big hits, big punts. We even had defensive lineman for Miami, Kendrick Norton, playing the guitar with James Blackman's leg after he sacked him. Look at Miami on this drive. More yards here than they had the entire first half. After the run by Rosier at 2nd down and 2. Walton's first touch of the 3rd quarter, and he's spun forward by Josh Sweat close to the 1st down at the 15-yard line.
Walton, we referenced it in the first half. He's been nursing an ankle injury. The left ankle just doesn't have the same level of explosiveness that we've seen from him over the years. He's just a little hesitant when he hits the hole. Something to watch here in the next 30 minutes of this ball game.
Only his 7th carry of the game for 13 yards. On 1st down, it's Rosier keeping it. Sweat on the takedown, so just a couple of yards for Rosier. Again, this is just the 5th career start. We talked a lot about Blackman for Florida State, his inexperience at quarterback. This is Rosier's first time in the rivalry. And he started one game 2 years ago, and Brad Kai was hurt. Won all 3 games he's played so far this year as a starting quarterback. But obviously this is the biggest test so far.
And the first time in a truly hostile environment. Tallahassee, one of the toughest places to play.
Rosier has a couple rushing touchdowns on the year. On 2nd and 9. Pulls it back. Throws end zone, and he had Berrios. He just threw it wide of him. So it's 3rd down and 9. Be about a 30-yard field goal attempt from here if they are unable to convert.
He had Berrios in the back of the end zone, but man, there was some push up front. It made it difficult for Rosier to follow through on his throw, which caused it to drift. Now, here in 3rd and 9, I think Rosier has to drop back and try to find Amon Richards, 82. They connected for a big 3rd down conversion earlier in the drive, and he's his best weapon offensively.
Bottom of your screen, matched up on McFadden. Florida State showing blitz. Here they come on 3rd and 9. And Rosier, it was deflected at the line, it appeared, and then almost intercepted by McFadden. So it's 4th down.
He tried to find Richards. And a great job by McFadden closing that gap. That was well covered. Not a lot of places to go with it. Ball came out a little funny. I don't know if it for sure was tipped.
Yeah, it did.
That was Ermon Lane, guys, the former wide receiver, number 7, the safety in the gap there.
That was a great play.
31-yard try. Badgley to tie the game. And we're even at 3 apiece.
Florida State 3, Miami 3.
We're giving you a backstage pass all weekend long into what goes into staging a college football game. Here's Florida State's mascot, Chief Osceola, along with the Renegade, getting prepped and ready. How about that? The horse gets a police escort. You guys had to walk from the hotel. The play-by-play guy had a lift, but
the horse is more important than some of the players, I feel like. No, okay, joking aside, man, how great is that?
There's the payoff, right?
Dave, the horse is a sedentary animal. Greg and I are thoroughbreds.
I mean, I'll tell you what, I've been looking forward to this game all week, and I've been looking forward to that moment maybe as much as any in our broadcasting career. Seeing that at midfield was really special, and taking it all in. What a great tradition Florida State has.
Miami ties the game with a short field goal, and now the kickoff goes through the end zone for a touchback. James Blackman threw an interception towards the end of the first half after getting injured. He was taken down twice by R.J. McIntosh, and on this last one you see him go for the right ankle. He got that heavily taped shortly thereafter.
Yeah, and if you look at his feet now in the second half, he has tape on both ankles. So it'll be something to watch here in the plays to come. Can he drive off that right foot?
Jacquez Patrick out there as well. Remember, he got dinged a little bit in the first half. Play action. Blackman being chased. Good job by the tight end not to hold. Blackman's pass. Dangerous throw. It's picked off. Delaney on the interception, and Miami takes over in Florida State territory, and they're getting the chain ready. The turnover chain is coming out again. Second takeaway for the Canes.
Blackman getting out and making a very bad decision. Throwing into double coverage to the corner route. He had a wide receiver about 6 yards from the line of scrimmage, standing right on the boundary, which would have been a massive, massive play if he would have just taken it right there. There was no one around. Delaney dropped way out underneath. And you give it to one of these Florida State wide receivers in space. Who knows what they're going to do with it? What a bad decision from the true freshman.
No interceptions in his 3 previous starts. 2, I should say, previous starts, but 2 so far today as Miami runs Mark Walton here straight ahead. And it's a gain of 4. Jacob Pugh on the tackle.
Just feel the life kind of go out of this stadium a little bit after the first drive by Miami and then converting for a field goal, and now after the interception, not quite as noisy as it is for this Miami offense to operate and communicate.
Pass play, Rosier in trouble, and he's able to get away from Noddy and get out of bounds. Go down as a sack, loss of 3 on the play, so 3rd and long for Malik Rosier. Turnover, everybody's got turnover chains now if you're a Canes fan. And 7 times they've given out the chain this year, 7 takeaways by the defense. Rosier on 3rd and long. Receiver comes open again. Amon Richards somehow gets open on 3rd down and long. Massive mistake defensively by Florida State, giving up 18 yards.
Amon Richards didn't have much going in the first half, but you think they've made him a point of emphasis here after halftime? 3 receptions already. A target in the red zone. And then they're opening it up on the dig route. Outstanding stuff, beating that zone coverage from Florida State.
A.J. Westbrook, who was injured earlier after getting drilled by Amon Richards, but walked under his own power to the sideline. He's shaken up again. So 1st down for the Hurricanes inside the Florida State 30-yard line.
And you're starting to see Malik Rosier really get into the game. He has been streaky, to say the least. Look, he hasn't played a lot of football, but he's a veteran guy and he's hung in there. But when he catches fire, he's as good as anybody in the ACC, and right now he's dealing a hot hand.
They just said the previous play is under review. They're just going to look to see if indeed it was a reception. Well, you mentioned the inexperience of Rosier. At one time, Mark Richt, the head coach, said, "You won't play for me," because he would freelance too much, try to do his own thing, Rosier. And Rick told him that. Rosier took it to heart and has become more of an efficient player. Now, actually, we're being told that it's not an issue of the catch. It's where did he go down? Because clearly he's got the ball. He's got possession of it. The question is, did he go down there at the 33, or did he make it to the 29? It didn't appear that his knee was down, and they marked it at the 29. So that's the ruling on the field.
And these are the replays that I just don't like. I understand it's a difference of a couple yards.
That's big, you're right, in a 3-3 game. And his knee is down there looking at that replay.
It is, but any momentum created by the conversion has now been squashed because they want to take a look at a difference of a couple yards. It's just not a big enough deal to me to warrant looking at it and making up this much of a difference. Now all the momentum for the offense is squashed, like I said.
Yeah, but it's the right call. Miami shouldn't be given the 29-yard line.
receiver caught the ball. His knee was down with the ball at the 32-yard line. It is still a first down, 1st and 10 at the 32.
And those 3 yards could make all the difference between winning and losing, especially in this rivalry.
You're right. It's a game of inches. There's no denying that. It just, when you're an offensive player and you're getting into a rhythm and you're starting to feel a flow, both in the passing game and with what your offensive coordinator is calling, when you have hesitations in the action, it's tough to recover from time to time.
And especially for a young quarterback. So let's take a look here at Rosier and how he handles this situation after getting into a rhythm. Walton trying to pick a hole, reverses field, and is swarmed by Florida State defenders. Lane leading the charge, so it's a loss of a yard on the play.
So impressed with this Florida State defense. Not only are they gifted physically, but they play so well within the scheme. They contain runners, they don't get out of their gap along the front, and then they rally to the football when a ball carrier is about to be stopped. Really fun to watch this group, and they're going to continue to improve.
They've won 7 in a row against Miami. Last win for the Canes was here in 2009. And here's a deep ball into the end zone, overthrown and intercepted. Picked off by the true freshman Stanford Samuels in the end zone for a touchback.
Just when Miami had seized all the momentum, Florida State's defense comes up big again. This time, the freshman Samuels securing the pick.
Greg talked about momentum being stalled because of the review, and then on the next play, it's an interception by Rosier. So Florida State takes over on the 20-yard line, and they run the ball, and falling forward is true freshman Cam Akers for 2 yards to the 22.
And it's important to note the ACC officiating crew, the replay officials, the people back in Greensboro headquarters, they did the right thing, but it kills the offense's momentum, and it's tough to retain.
Here's a pitch to Akers, trying to get outside, a flag down. Akers picks up about 3. Blake Young on the takedown, but again, a penalty flag. It is against Florida State.
Holding. Offense. Number 54. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
That's the center, Alec Eberle.
Keep an eye on Eberle right over the middle. See if he grabs the defender. Clearly does. You see that left hand grabbing the shoulder of big number 7, Kendrick Norton.
He didn't like Norton playing the quarterback's leg as a guitar in the first quarter. That's still, I don't think I've ever seen that before.
That's a unique celebration. I'm gonna hang on to that one.
He tackled Blackman, held his leg, and then act like he was playing the guitar.
That's gift worthy.
That was great.
And he just forced a holding penalty on Florida State, 2nd and 18. Akers finds running room past the 20-yard line. He gets 12 yards there. Big run on 2nd down when they needed a chunk play.
Huge run. Right there. Had some contact in the backfield. He put his foot in the ground and went right up the gut for a nice gain to set up 3rd and manageable. We haven't seen Tate get involved much in the passing game. At some point, they got to get their big star wide receiver, Auden Tate, involved. You see he's on the motion.
Battling a shoulder injury. Here's a screen, and Patrick can't come up with it. Oh, he gets drilled after the whistle. They throw the flag, but I don't know that that's right. I don't know that Michael Pinckney, the Miami linebacker, knew exactly what had taken place. He thought it was a fumble, and that's why he came and drilled Jacquez Patrick.
It doesn't matter if he knew or not. Still should be a penalty.
There is no foul on the play. The result of the play is an incomplete pass.
I don't think they get it right there.
Wow, I think that should be a penalty. I understand, look, intent, all that stuff. He didn't mean to hit Patrick late.
But he doesn't unload on him here, really. He tries to hold up at the last. He doesn't go for the head or anything. It's not a defenseless play.
It's still 2 steps away. That should be a call. It should be a call, and I'm an offensive guy. I understand that as a former quarterback, but right there, Pinckney was late. I know he didn't intend to do anything wrong, but what he did was in fact wrong, and I think it should have been rewarded with a fresh set of downs for Florida State, given the contact that was had.
I'm not so sure he didn't think he fumbled it.
Well, that's what I said. Yeah, I think he thought that's why he hit him so hard. Line drive. Berrios from the 35-yard line. Penalty marker down, as there is on just about every kick. Berrios inside the 40-yard line. Berrios tackled at the 20. The official picked up the flag.
There wasn't a penalty.
Hey, he meant to throw his marker
the flag,
down.
but he meant to throw the beanbag.
Yep.
Which, it's a little different meaning. The beanbag is when the ball changes possessions or when it's a fumble. He threw the flag instead.
But I think Florida State saw that. And when you see the flag thrown,
And look at the official.
you assume it's coming back.
You can see the flag fly in there, but he ran right to it, embarrassingly enough, grabbed the flag, put it in his pocket, and then threw the beanbag.
Hoping nobody would see it.
But you got to think Florida State did. That had to have impacted the play.
You see the beanbag located right next to that flag on his right hip. That time, the beanbag's on his left hip now. I think he might have had it on the wrong side. Big return, though, from Berrios nonetheless.
First down at the 21-yard line of Florida State. Pass play. Rosier looking end zone. Back shoulder throw. Berrios. Touchdown, Miami. Braxton Berrios with a touchdown catch in every game so far this season for Miami. First player since Andre Johnson. Their stories are a little different. Andre Johnson, highly recruited, multiple Pro Bowls in the NFL. Braxton Berrios had 12 catches all of last year. He had the great punt return to set up his own touchdown catch. And the point after makes it 10-3 Canes.
We talked about Rosier dealing a hot hand. How about Braxton Berrios, the punt return, and then getting rewarded with the seam route and the back shoulder catch. Rozier's loving it. So are the Canes.
Dave Pasch, Greg McElroy, Tom Luganville here in Tallahassee. The first touchdown of the game comes at the 6:57 mark, and Miami in front after trailing 3-0 at halftime. And wow, Gavin stutter steps, takes it out, and should not have. He gets level at the 10-yard line.
Let's go back to the touchdown. This is all made possible because Derwin James is favoring the right hash. I don't know why either, because the two best receivers, this is Berrios and this is Amon Richards on a fade under route. How can Derwin James be on the right-hand side when the two biggest threats in the passing game are on the left-hand side? He's got to be smarter in understanding where the personnel is, because he just hung out A.J. Westbrook with one-on-one coverage against a very capable slot receiver. Derwin James is a star, as good a college football player as we have in this country. But right there, tried to get a little tricky with his eyes, trying to fool Rosier. And Rosier knew exactly where to go with it. Great execution.
And you got Westbrook, who's been shaken up twice. And speaking of injuries, the return man, Keith Gavin, is down. He got suplexed by Travis Homer.
Guys, and you take a look at this third quarter. Two distinct differences. Number one, we have spent all our time, if you're watching from home, on the far right of your football screen. Every single series, whether it's been offense or defense for either team. So Miami has a huge advantage in field position. Secondly, and Greg, we talked about this to open the quarter. Miami had to become more diverse in their passing game. Create some more opportunities downfield aside from the slant route. They've gone to that, and it has been very, very fruitful downfield. They've got Florida State on their toes right now a little bit defensively.
And Gavin is shaken up. Auden Tate has been battling that shoulder injury. So you got a couple of guys now at receiver for Florida State that aren't 100% if Gavin can even come back. But has that really mattered lately? I mean, Florida State still finds a way to beat Miami despite the Hurricanes leading in the last three matchups.
This is all about Florida State's ability to get back to doing what they did in the first half. Running the football, controlling the line of scrimmage, and not making mistakes at the quarterback spot. And it's about whether or not Miami's ready for the moment. Everyone appears that Everyone thinks that this team's ready to take a big step forward. We're going to find out in the next 21 minutes of game time whether or not they are.
Patrick trying to cut it back, taken down for a loss. It was Shaq Quarterman. And Miami among the nation's leaders in tackles for loss. They get another one there. So obviously Florida State struggling offensively. It makes it a lot worse now because you're behind the sticks.
Yeah, and really I'm surprised too. Florida State had success in the first half using their fullback and using multiple tight ends. We haven't seen that yet to this point in the second half. And here they are again in 11 personnel with 3 wide receivers on the field.
That pass juggled and then pulled in by Izzo. Did a nice job to secure it at the 21, so that'll put him in 3rd and manageable. Haven't seen many 3rd and short situations for the true freshman James Blackman.
And I think getting him on the perimeter with a run pass option might be the best thing for him in this particular spot. Getting him on the edge and allowing him to see out in front of him and allowing him to be a little bit more comfortable if they do decide to throw it here.
Rolling left, now in trouble, being chased. Blackman throws it up for Tate and throws it away, but there's a penalty marker down in the backfield. And actually there's one at the line of scrimmage as well, so 2 markers down.
That was exactly what they tried to do. Tried to get Blackman outside the pocket, make it easier in the throwing lanes. See what they have here.
There are 2 fouls on the play by each team. Ineligible receiver downfield, offense, number 69. Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense, number 33. Those fouls offset.
All right, Greg, so you get another chance here for Blackman. You played in rivalry games, obviously, at Alabama. What's going through his mind? He's a true freshman playing in the biggest game of his career. His team's down, but you're in a position where you can make a play, 3rd and 2.
And he's made some mistakes, too, in the last couple quarters. Late in the first half, throwing the interception, threw an early interception in this half on a poor decision. They tried to sprint him out there, give him something easy. Now they might opt to run the football, given the amount of people that are in the box for Miami.
He's got Patrick with him in the backfield. They fake the jet sweep. Blackman breaks a tackle, dives, and has the first down. The kid made a play there.
Yeah,
avoided
he did.
the sack.
Yeah, he did. What a play. Nothing there defensively. They tried once again to get him outside the pocket. It just makes you so much more comfortable as a passer, seeing the throwing lanes when you're outside the tackle box. And good thing James Blackman is 6'5" and change, because if he was any shorter, I'm not sure he would have gotten it. Manny Diaz disgusted after that one.
Let's see how that impacts the confidence of Blackman. Maybe gets him going. They run Akers. Beautiful cutback by Akers. Right behind a teammate, cutting it back to the middle and picking up 13 yards and a first down.
Here's the Florida State offense that we saw in the first half. Under center, bend plays with the running back, getting back to the backside. And they had a lot of success with both Patrick and Akers. They need to continue to establish that ground attack to take some of the pressure off James Blackman, the true freshman starting quarterback.
Greg, with a running back, Cam Akers right there. It looks like he was going to bounce it outside, but then he plants his foot in the ground and gets upfield, and he's going to start to sense, oh, wait a minute. Big plays can happen between the tackles, and most importantly, they've gotten out of a huge hole that they have spent the entire 3rd quarter in on both sides of the football.
Sheldrick Redwine shaken up on the play. Akers with 58 yards rushing on 12 attempts. Patrick has 83 yards rushing on 9 attempts. He had 8 for 84 early in the 2nd quarter, so he's only touched it once since, but he's also had some injury issues. And Florida State trying to avoid a 1-3 start. Lost to Alabama. Lost their quarterback in that game, DeAndre Francois, the rookie of the year in the ACC. Blackman comes in as a true freshman. Never thought he'd play at all this year. And then he starts the next 3 games, including here today against the Rivals. Akers. A late 2nd penalty flag comes in. There was a Florida State player without his helmet. That's where the first marker came down. And then a second one came soaring in from downfield.
They're going to get Ryan Izzo on a hole here.
Offense, number 81, 10-yard penalty, first down.
I can't believe the officials saw this one. This is not just a hold.
It's WWE.
That is throw him out of the club. Woo, my goodness. I mean, I've seen holds before. And I've seen guys try to save a life and try to hang on for dear life. That was just unnecessary.
You know what, though, Greg? If you're going to do it right.
Well, I think those two guys right there probably have some experience throwing guys around.
They could throw me out of the ring, I can assure you that.
I'm not getting in the ring with those guys.
No.
First down on the 27 of Florida State. Blackman tried to dump it off, and it was almost picked off. It was deflected by McIntosh at the line of scrimmage. Here's Adnan in the studio. That was a really good story on game day about Kenny Hill and the chance at redemption, how much he's matured and learned since the Kenny the Trill days back at Texas A&M. Be a great redemption story if TCU can somehow make it to the college football playoff. Jacquez Patrick to the 32, picks up 5 yards on 2nd and 20, so you're going to 3rd down and long here.
Yeah, this is such a tough spot to be in. And if you look, Miami just subbed out about, looked like 15 guys. Of course, it was only about 7 or 8, but a whole new set of bodies, and the depth of this defense is so improved from where it was a year ago. Manny Diaz, the defensive coordinator, has no problem taking out his starters and putting in the replacements, or in this case, taking out the replacements, putting the starters back in for 3rd down.
3rd and 16, they'll let Blackman throw it. He's in trouble, gets hit, and it's incomplete. Joe Jackson had pressure, and pushing and shoving after the play. Derek Kelly shoves Joe Jackson, but for now, the officials keeping hold of their flags.
How great are rivalry games? I mean, it's just every snap. You don't know what you're going to get. Joe Jackson right there taking the left tackle Derek Kelly for a ride and bringing Blackman down just as he was releasing the pass. This Florida State front has done a pretty good job offensively in the run game, but they've struggled in the passing game throughout the course of the game.
Logan Tyler has really punted the ball beautifully today. Gets off another good one. Berrios forced to make the fair catch. 52-yard punt. Well, think of all the great NFL players that have played in this rivalry. Braxton Berrios is probably a name that a lot of people will remember, but not because he ended up playing in the NFL. It's because he not only had this punt return, but he sets up his own touchdown, helping himself out here on his back shoulder throw by Rosier. Makes a terrific grab for the go-ahead score.
What a job he's done. The senior hasn't been a focal point of the offense, underutilized. While Brad Kaya was here, of course, Njoku and Richards and Coley, they were the primetime guys, so he kind of waited in the wings. But now as a senior, he's taking full advantage of his opportunity.
And he's a Campbell Trophy finalist. That goes to the academic Heisman winner, so to speak. Pass downfield in traffic, broken up by Derwin James. It was intended for Amon Richards, who's been tearing up the Florida State secondary here in the second half, but not that time.
And Derwin James. Rosier and Richards fortunate there that wasn't intercepted. James made a nice play on the football, and Richards did a good job of trying to be strong with it. Those are two outstanding players that will be playing football for a long time.
Jimbo Fisher told us yesterday Derwin James can play all 11 positions. He's probably exaggerating, but he can definitely play corner. That was a great break on the ball. Rosier will keep on 2nd and 10, gets a block, and close to the first down. He's got it at the 28-yard line.
I love when the NFL scout asked defensive coordinator Charles Kelly, well, what do you mean he can play all 11? He can play the nose tackle? And he said, well, they wouldn't block him.
He said, yeah, I'd line him right up over the center at defensive tackle, and I guarantee you he'd get home.
That's right.
Derwin James, number 3. He's a guy to keep an eye on.
So a fresh set of downs for Miami on the 28-yard line. Here's a pass to Richards out in space, and an excellent block downfield by the true freshman Mike Harley, springing Richards. for a good pickup there.
I'm telling you, you watch this Miami offense and the wide receivers in particular. Watch how hard they work on the perimeter blocking. It's truly outstanding. Berrios with the cut and Harley on the outside lasting forever. Florida State's wide receivers who've struggled blocking at times, they could learn a thing or two from watching these guys on the edge really push guys around.
No doubt Harley's got a motor. 2nd and 3 on the 35-yard line. And Walton goes around Berrios. Looked like he could have just cut up field, but he didn't. He went around Berrios. Pushed out of bounds by Thomas into the Florida State bench. But Walton escapes. It'll be 3rd down.
I'll tell you what, he's just not the same guy today. 10 carries, only 15 yards, and he's not 100%. Every time he's gotten the football, Florida State has been able to find him. Of course, he has that left ankle that's been bothersome. Still been productive to this point, but certainly hasn't been a feature player for the Canes today.
Rosier's throw caught by Berrios, able to stretch forward and get the first down to the 40-yard line. The senior from Raleigh, North Carolina, 5'9", 180 pounds, having a career day.
He just knows how to get open. I mean, he's not the fastest. He's certainly not the biggest at 5'9", but he knows how to use his body and to create separation. He's very savvy within the routes that Mark Richt puts on him, and man, does Rosier trust him in the passing game.
Rosier to the air again, takes off with everybody covered and slides. It'll go down as a sack, a loss of a couple. You had Jacob Pugh and Derek Nottie getting some pressure that time. Inside a minute to go here in the 3rd quarter.
Smart play there, Greg, by Malik Rosier. When you consider this 3rd quarter's winding down, you're up. Points are at a premium. Possessions are even more important right now. Don't make stupid plays under center.
And we saw Rosier take a shot earlier in the quarter and get picked off trying to go for a big play. 2nd and 12. There's a blitz off the edge, and the receiver Cage are able to make the catch. That was McFadden who was initially coming in. He came on a blitz, and Cager was picked up by A.J. Westbrook, who's hurt again. That's the 3rd time Westbrook is shaken up, and he's going to have to come out. You wonder if goes back to that first hit by Amon Richards on the block, if he's ever been 100% since that hit.
Yeah, he's going to be sore tomorrow. There's no doubt. He's playing hard, though. I tell you what, and he's a little overshadowed in this secondary. Of course, McFadden, Samuels, and James, and Taylor, they're all stars, but Westbrook, he's done a heck of a job to this point of the season.
3 quarters down, 1 to go here in the 62nd meeting between Florida State and Miami. The difference in the ball game, Braxton Berrios with the lone touchdown. 10-3 Canes after 3. Welcome back to ESPN's Afternoon College Football, presented by PlayStation View. You're watching the ACC on ESPN. Start of the 4th quarter. This game originally scheduled for September 16th, postponed because of Hurricane Irma. We thought we might have hurricane conditions 2 days ago here, but it's been sunny skies most of the day. And there was some contact downfield on 3rd and 6 between Mullins and Levante Taylor of Florida State, but no penalty marker, and so the Canes have to punt.
It's a big stop from this Seminole defense. It's a little bit of contact, but it could have potentially been a pass interference, but a good no call by the official.
True freshman Zach Fiegels, whose dad Jeff played 22 years in the NFL. Short punt. And Florida State will take that. Only a 33-yard boot.
Jalen Watts Jackson. I will never forget that name for as long as I live. What an ending.
Florida State takes over on the 23. And they run the ball. Nice hole. Akers bouncing off tacklers. And he's free at midfield. Into Cane territory. The true freshman, not the quarterback, but it's Akers with the big play here in the 4th quarter.
This has been Florida State's bread and butter all day. Under center, downhill, rushing attack. And Cam Akers in the open field starting to deliver on all that promise that he had coming out of high school as one of the top-ranked players in the country. What a great play by the Noles offense.
46 yards. And what did Jimbo tell us yesterday? Just keep trying between the tackles. Even though he didn't get anything there, you're going to finally break one. And he did. It'll be second and long, though, after Quarterman made the tackle. At the 31-yard line, Jimbo Fisher has never lost back-to-back home games since taking over. They played NC State on September 23rd, lost that game. Their lone win came on the road last week at Wake Forest. Fisher, you see the demonstrative conversation with his quarterback, James Blackman, who made incredible strides since training camp. Going into the year thinking he was going to be the backup until Francois' injury. Blackman throws here, and it's caught for a first down inside the 20 by George Campbell, all the way to the 15.
You know what? We're watching James Blackman there still doing everything at the line of scrimmage, and as you just referenced, when head coach Jimbo Fisher coaches him, he coaches him hard. He doesn't coach him like he's a freshman. He doesn't coddle him. And this young man maintains the same level of composure, the same body language, and the same facial expression, whether he's getting complimented or whether he's getting ripped.
Blackman has him at the 15-yard line. Back to Akers. Hit in the backfield. Down he goes. A loss of 1 on the play. Quarterman drills him first and then taken down after by 2 more Canes.
And Tom, this is where Florida State has struggled in the red zone. They've been very good when it comes to converting field goals, no denying that. But in their last 13 red zone penetrations, only 3 touchdowns. They got to get 7 here, obviously, against a great defense.
Blackman hit as he throws, nearly intercepted as Jaquan Johnson stepped in front. Auden Tate, I'm trying to remember the last time he was targeted, if at all, in this game. They tried to get it to him there.
Yeah, Auden Tate has taken a back seat to some of the other great players on this Florida State team. Jimbo not happy on the sideline as his team gets ready to take on a 3rd and 10. The red zone woes continue if you look at 1st and 2nd down.
And he predetermined that throw, Greg.
Yeah, he did.
Chad Thomas did have some pressure in the face of the quarterback. Play clock winding down. It's at 2. And Blackman, I don't think, saw it, so Jimbo Fisher calls a timeout.
Let's watch Jimbo here with his young quarterback. Look at him, seeing him talking him up.
And he's telling him, hey, it's quarters. You can't throw post against quarters.
Exactly.
Quarters means a safety is hanging on the right side, and he occupies the space that Tate was running right into. Fortunate that that 2nd down throw wasn't intercepted, but I love this. I absolutely love this. Jimbo Fisher, he's hard on his quarterbacks. There's no denying that. But how many quarterbacks have left Tallahassee and you felt as though their best was not brought out from Jimbo Fisher? He challenges the guys. And then he talks him to the next play. I just love the way he handles the development of that position. He has an eye in recruiting to make sure he brings in guys that aren't thin-skinned, that won't go in the tank. And then he also finds guys with incredible talent like James Blackman and some of the great ones before.
They'll put him in empty here on 3rd down and 10. Can the kid make a play? From the 15 of Miami. 4-man rush for the Hurricanes. Blackman, wide open, touchdown, Izzo! Blackman gets it done on 3rd and 10, and the Noles have a chance to tie. First touchdown of the season for Izzo. Ricky Aguayo on to tie it at 10. New game with 12:17 to go.
Jimbo said, this kid has it. The ability to bounce back after a bad decision. Comes right back, throws a strike. We got a ball game in Tallahassee.
They have come alive here at Doak Campbell, and not just in the stands, on the sideline. And the quarterback, James Blackman, after Jimbo Fisher has a lengthy conversation with him, trying to encourage him while also pointing out flaws from the previous couple plays, throws a dart. And we have a tie game with 12-17 to go. Here's DJ Dallas for the Canes. And he's up to the 20, and a penalty marker comes flying in. If that's on Miami, that'll put him back inside the 15-yard line.
During the return, holding, receiving team, number 33, half the distance to the goal, first down.
The last time Miami beat Florida State was 2009 here in Tallahassee. And by the way, that was in overtime. The only time these two teams have played to overtime. Of course, overtime wasn't around for a lot of those years when these two teams met. Are we headed there again? Miami's won 8 straight overall coming in. The last loss against Notre Dame, October of last year. That's now the 3rd longest active streak because of Oklahoma, which had the longest at 14 in a row. That came to an end today with the Sooners losing at home to Iowa State and a backup quarterback. Right now the backup quarterback for Florida State just tied the game. And now Malik Rosier, it's his turn as the Canes are backed up at their 9. They're just going to hand it off here to Travis Homer. Runs out of real estate near the 15 as we check in with Adnan.
Thanks very much, Dave. It's PlayStation View multi-view right now due to torrential rains in West Lafayette. Minnesota and Purdue in a weather delay. That's on ESPN2. And Notre Dame over UNC. That's on ABC. Dave?
That's interesting you mentioned that because, a couple days ago, we're flying in here to Tallahassee, and there was talk they might move this game again. Maybe move the start time up or move it a day earlier. They stuck with the 3:30 kick. And blue skies.
Knock on wood.
They got a ways to go. It is supposed to rain later tonight with Hurricane Nate expected to make landfall along the Gulf Coast. Rosier and Auden Richards headed upfield. That pass was toward the sideline, and so it's 3rd down and 5. Richard shaking his head like, what are you doing?
Really good job there by Tavares McFadden, number 4, the corner down here. Greg, they were going to do a corner blitz. Malik Rosier, the Miami quarterback, he checks out of it, but then Charles Keller, the defensive coordinator, standing right next to me here, he checks out of the corner blitz, confuses the quarterback. Win on defense for Florida State.
That's algebra. That's advanced algebra right there. Being able to check and adjust defensively when chaos is going on.
Rosier to throw on 3rd down. Richards. Oh, he almost caught it. McFadden in coverage. That throw was there by Rosier, but Auden Richards could not hang on. It's 4th down.
Good coverage by McFadden. You see the contact. I know Miami fans are probably looking at that screaming, saying that's too much. The ball's in the air. And more often than not, in a bang-bang play like that, you're never going to get the call. It was a well-thrown ball, a decent route, just great coverage by the All-American defender.
Figo's last kick was not good. This one is much better. McFadden has to back up. Fields it at his 38. Gets out of a tackle. McFadden breaks another one. And he won't get away, though, on this time. Tackled at the 35. It's Mark Walton on special teams making a great play. Well, we all remember some of the crazy end-of-game situations like wide right 1 back in 1991, and then a year later, Dan Mowry missing from 39 yards to tie the game, wide right 2. But a couple of other wide rights, a wide left thrown in there, and then last year they blocked the game-tying extra point late in the 4th quarter. And you think about it, all the great talent that's come out of these two schools, the kicking game has defined this series. And I'm not going to try to diagnose what goes on in the mind of a kicker, but you wonder, those two guys we just saw, are they thinking about the history of this rivalry? Long throw by Blackman, pulled in Miami territory for a first down by Murray. Let's go to the studio and Adnan. And a tie game here at 10 apiece. Under 11 minutes to go. Florida State in Miami territory. As you see the confidence of James Blackman growing every snap. They run it here. Cam Akers to the 43 for 4 yards.
Greg, on that last play, Nyquan Murray actually fell down. He falls down and gets up and is still able to make the play. What a wonderful thrown football to the sideline.
And that was the exact same route concept that got intercepted earlier when Blackman tried to force the corner route into double coverage. This time with a little bit more one-on-one, and he's able to hit a nice throw. That took a lot of velocity, and he got it there on time.
They run it again on 2nd and 6. Trying to cut back is Akers, but it's not there. Instead, Jaquan Johnson is of Miami along with Shaq Quarterman. So 3rd down here for James Blackman. Making his 3rd career start, replacing DeAndre Francois, who was injured in the opener against Alabama.
This is a big 3rd down. And in a normal game, it might be 4-down territory, but not in this game. It's been all about field position, and Florida State, for the most part, outside of one drive, Miami's been backed up. Try to throw it here.
Oh, the left side of the line move. I was just about to ask you, so if you don't get this, are you punting for sure? Well, now certainly you are if you don't pick it up, because you're in 3rd.
False start.
10.
Offense, number 70, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Absolutely. It's a tug of war defensively right now, and there have not been many plays made by either offense. So I'm definitely thinking field position is as important as anything else. Now that they're at 3rd and 10, I wouldn't be shocked to see them actually run the football with Patrick, who's had a nice game today.
Depends. Has Jimbo Fisher's confidence in his quarterback grown? They did that a lot in the first half. They let him throw it, though, on the last 3rd down, and he threw a touchdown pass. He'll throw it here, and he's got Tate for another first down. Tate inside the 30, down to near the 25. How about that laser?
Wow. What a great throw and a great read by Blackman. Seeing rotation and flow, and he finds this window right around number 33, Trent Harris for Miami. That was an absolute missile coming out of the hand of James Blackman.
That had flames on it, bro.
I haven't seen anything thrown like that, and the playoffs for baseball are going on.
Blackman throwing it out here, and it's dropped. Was that behind the line? They haven't signaled yet whether it was a forward pass. Murray with a smart play to jump on the ball, and it looks like they're going to say it was a backwards pass, so it's a loss of 4 on the play.
No, Greg and Dave, go back to our discussion with Jimbo this week, and he talked to us about how he thinks completion percentage is overrated. He puts more stock in whether or not you make the key play at the key moment when it matters most. And that last 3rd down throw right there to Auden Tate was a prime example of what he was describing to us when describing James Blackman.
And let's keep in perspective the defense he's going against. These Miami defenders are absolutely outstanding. He's been up to the task so far.
On 2nd and 14. Akers, beautiful move by Akers. A helmet goes flying off at the 25-yard line, and it's Akers who lost his lid. He's going to have to come out for a play.
That's the 2nd time that Akers' helmet has come off. But goodness, look at that little stutter. And to get vertical, that is a big-time move. There at the line of scrimmage. It was well defended. Just a missed tackle by the Kane defense.
Yeah, he shook Pinckney, and then it was Quarterman that hit him up high and knocked the helmet off. 3rd and 8 from the 25-yard line. It would be about a 42-yard field goal try from here for FSU. And they're going to just run Patrick, and he'll get tackled at the 21. So it's a gain of 4. And so Ricky Aguayo, whose brother obviously played here, had some trouble in the NFL, was cut by the Bucs, picked up by the Bears, and then was released again. Ricky's been solid this year, making 8 straight coming into the game, and then made one earlier in this one. So it'll be a 38-yard attempt to give Florida State the lead. No problem for Aguayo. Pressure didn't get to the sophomore. Ricky Aguayo making his 10th consecutive field goal. Splits the uprights to give the Noles a 3-point lead. Florida State has taken a 3-point lead over Miami here in Tallahassee, trying to knock off the unbeaten Canes. Tyler's kick sails out of bounds. It's a touchback. Let's go to Adnan. And TCU carrying the torch right now for the Big 12 with Oklahoma losing. Miami has led in each now of the last 4 meetings, losing the previous 3. In fact, the Canes have not beaten Florida State since 2009. So a lot on the shoulders of quarterback Malik Rosier of the Hurricanes, who's played better in the second half after just 4-16 showing in the first half. From the Cane 25. Rosier pulls it down, gets leveled as he throws, and he completes it to Berrios, who's made every play for Miami today. A 15-yard pickup.
What a great throw by Malik Rosier. Getting him outside the pocket. He has a defender barreling down. He knows he's going to get hit. He delivers a strike to his security blanket, Berrios, on the over route. Well executed. Great drive start for this Hurricane offense.
See, 5 catches today for Berrios. He had 12 all of last year. And Fad looks like he might be coming on a blitz. There he is, number 4 for Florida State. Rosier recognizes it, and wide open is Herndon, the tight end, into Florida State territory. Stiff arms the defender all the way down to the 22.
It's a great job by Malik Rosier again, recognizing the vacated space on the left-hand side as a result of the corner tap and finding big completion.
37 yards. Here's Herndon again, knocked down inside the 15-yard line. Remember last year, David Njoku was the go-to guy at the tight end position. He was a first-round draft pick of the Browns, and so Herndon has become a popular target on this drive and the season. 8 of 9 on that last play.
This has been an incredible answer to this point by this Miami offense.
61 quick yards for Rosier through the air, 2nd and 1. Walton finds running room inside the 10. It'll be 1st and goal for the Canes. Walton went down awkwardly, wrestled to the ground by Jacob Pugh. Walton battling an ankle injury, has not been 100% this year, but he's toughed it out. We saw him on special teams make a big tackle.
He definitely got rolled up, guys, but this time it's the right side.
There's another Hurricane down. Can't see the number.
Look at Walton as he goes to the ground. It's very awkward the way he landed. One more time. See that right leg kind of roll under the defender Pugh. Glad to see he's okay. Certainly favoring that right leg, though, as he gets assistance being helped off the field.
And then right guard Navon Donaldson, true freshman, was shaken up as well for Miami. But can they keep up with the tide?
It's going to be a tall order. We all remember Johnny Manziel's performance as a freshman in 2012. Nothing to this point of the season has made me think Kellen Mond resembles Johnny Manziel. So it's going to take a superhuman effort from the true freshman.
So you got Homer in for the injured Walton. You got Corey Gaynor, a true freshman, in for Donaldson, who just left with an injury. 1st and goal for Miami at the Florida State 7. Canes looking to take the lead on this drive. Rosier going to take off. And he gets to the line of scrimmage and maybe a yard. He lost his helmet. How about this? He's going to have to come out for a play. You lose your quarterback unless you burn a timeout here. How is Mark Richt going to handle this? Does he call a timeout?
Yeah, it's a critical down. And Mark Richt is.
He is. He's going to call timeout.
He's going to. He had.
Yep.
But how about the hit by Matthew Thomas? Was that targeting on Thomas? I mean, the helmet came off, but do you call a penalty on Florida State there? Watch the hit by Matthew Thomas that dislodged the helmet.
I mean, targeting is forcible contact to the head or neck area of a defenseless player. And to me, that looks like targeting. I know it wasn't called, but targeting calls can be initiated from the booth. So by the letter of the law, that makes me think that it's targeting. I don't see any officials scrambling to a headset to take a look at it.
I'm with you. I think that should have been on Thomas, who is the leading tackler for Florida State. The replay booth, we're being told, has informed the officials they thought that was to the back of the shoulder. I disagree.
It looked like the head or neck area to me.
So
Rick opting to burn the timeout to keep Rosier in the game, and it's a big moment for this young man early in his career. A junior, but not a lot of starts under his belt. His career can be defined by the next 5 minutes.
Rosier to the air, lobs it, end zone. Berrios! He got it! Touchdown! Miami back in front. How about this kid? Braxton Berrios has made every play for the Hurricanes today.
What a stud. Let's make sure he secures it, of course. Clearly in bounds, feet down, ball doesn't move. Touchdown, Canes. What an answer. After all the momentum seemed to have gone to the sideline of the Seminoles. Incredible stuff right there from Berrios and Rosier.
Great touchdown. The previous play is up to you.
Well, they didn't review the targeting, which I thought they should have, and yet they're going to review what looked like, at least from our vantage point, a clear catch by Berrios. Remember, too, Florida State blocked an extra point in last year's game to win by 1. And he's got the ball.
I think the fact that he chooses to roll over to secure the football is really what stands out here. What a remarkable job by Braxton Berrios. And Greg, how he set up the defender initially.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
But Tom, there wasn't a ton of room in the back, and he hesitated.
Yep.
Moved his feet and got it down in the back of the end zone. Yeah, this will be confirmed.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
3.96 GPA in finance, entrepreneurship, and making big plays against Florida State. That's his greatest major right now. Semi-finalist for the Campbell Trophy, the academic Heisman. He scored 5 touchdowns in 4 games. He had 2 touchdowns all of last year. The point after makes it a 4-point Miami game. Remember, it was 3-0 at halftime. A lot of points here in the second half.
Every week, you have incredible games, and you have guys that aren't talked about, unsung heroes. And this year, Braxton Berrios went from an overlooked slot receiver, rarely used, to perhaps Miami's best playmaker, and certainly today their most reliable target.
Still a lot of time, though, for Florida State, and they will start on their 25.
Quite a day for the senior. This is perhaps the biggest play of the game, the punt return. Miami's offense hadn't done much to that point. He sets him up. And then on the next snap, he catches the back shoulder fade in one-on-one. Similar route. Fade from the slot position. And he falls down right in the back of the end zone to give the Canes the lead. Incredible stuff from the senior.
We talked about his academic outstanding accomplishments. But enough time here for Florida State to mark down. Miami bringing pressure, and that pass is caught. Izzo, who had the touchdown earlier, out near the 40-yard line as we check in with Adnan. Will Miami hold on Adnan? Florida State with a good play to start this drive out to its 39-yard line. Blackman to throw again. Here's Patrick. Patrick able to break a couple tackles and just power his way near the line to gain. He's playing hurt as well, shaken up in the first half, trying to fight through the pain here in this rivalry game.
I'll tell you what, it's been physical today. And man, it's been fun to watch. James Blackman, the freshman. Just watch Malik Rosier go right down the field for the go-ahead score. He says, now I get my chance. Off to a good start with 2 quick completions.
Both guys making their first starts in this rivalry game have really settled down since halftime. Akers gets the call and picks up the first down. Almost like they're feeding off each other. Both guys settling down when in the first half they really struggled to throw the football and just complete passes.
Yeah, if you combine the two on the last couple drives, they're 11 of 12 between the two of them. I mean, they are really on fire, these two quarterbacks, trying to lead their team to victory.
They're stretching out that neck of Rosier after he took that shot near the goal line. Blackman pumps, runs, and gets positive yardage. Smart decision. That's what Jimbo Fisher talking about with us yesterday. He's just grown by leaps and bounds in that regard. Yeah, we saw some mistakes earlier. Made the right call there.
And you're going to have some peaks and valleys as a freshman. You're a young player. Everything that you're seeing for the first time. But it's how you respond to the negative plays and how you continue to ascend after the positive plays. Staying consistent is the most important thing for this young kid moving forward.
Only one incompletion in his last 3 possessions. Over the middle, it's pulled in by Auden Tate, making an appearance here in the 4th quarter. Tate battling his shoulder injuries, made a couple of huge plays. This one goes for 15 yards as Tate's slow to get up. Tate staying in, though. Left shoulder injury against NC State. Caught the game-winning touchdown last week and wants another one here with Florida State on the move. Inside 3 to play on the Miami 31-yard line. Blackman has to step up. Wrapped up and sacked at the 37. Trent Harris takes him down. He had pressure initially for Miami.
That is a big-time play by this Miami defense. This offense for Florida State was getting into a bit of a rhythm. And they pin their ears back, and they get after the quarterback to set Florida State behind the sticks. It's a great job by this pass rush from Miami, but none of us should be surprised. They're one of the best in the business at affecting the quarterback.
Official timeout. They're making Auden Tate leave the field. So that will not be charged to Florida State. Tate doesn't want to come out.
Big time players don't. Put the game on the line. That could potentially be a big move by this officiating crew. I mean, Tate is their best playmaker offensively, and although he hasn't been used as much today, his size and his ability to make contested acrobatic catches makes him a massive weapon.
So after the 7-yard loss, they're backed up at the 37-yard line of Miami. Blackman hangs in the pocket, and it's pulled in by Murray, and Nooney is near the 20-yard line. Johnson with the hit, gain of 15, so it's 3rd and short. How do you handle this if you're Jimbo Fisher?
it's obviously 4-down territory. Knowing that it's a 4-point game, a field goal does nothing for you. So I'm running the football with number 3, Cam Akers.
And Akers gets the call and able to muscle his way past the line to gain. The ball comes out. It's in the arms of McIntosh, but they ruled it forward. Progress was stopped at the 20-yard line. First down, Florida State. Minute 45 to go and 2 timeouts. We'll stop the clock to reset the chains.
Calling on your offensive line to make a big play right there. No indecision by Jimbo Fisher. You nailed it, Greg. Give it to the young freshman. You've got a true freshman at tailback, a true freshman at quarterback, and a much maligned offensive front that right now is playing their hearts out in the most important portion of the game.
See if they give it to him again. Play action. There's a receiver wide open. It's Tate. Touchdown FSU. He comes back in a big way with the go-ahead score. Maybe Miami thought he was still on the sideline. And barely lift his left arm because of the shoulder injury. DeAndre Francois out for the season. Congratulating Justin Blackman on another dart. Auden Tate potentially back-to-back game-winning touchdowns. The point after makes it a 3-point game. A minute 24 to go. 2 timeouts left for the Kings.
Great back and forth. This time, Auden Tate just running to the corner, and you're going to see him sneak out into the flats coming off the motion. Now, there's confusion in the secondary for Miami. We've seen this time and time and time again over the course of the first 4 games of this season. Inexperience in the back end for the Hurricanes comes back to get them there as they let the best wide receiver for Florida State run free for the go-ahead score. But how about this true freshman?
James Blackman with 2 touchdown passes here in the 4th quarter, completing 10 of his last 11 throws. Just when you think Miami's going to end that streak, losing 7 in a row, the Seminoles drive down the field to take the lead. But again, enough time, and all they need is a field goal to tie. The juice is flowing on the kickoff. That hit the crossbar. Let's go to the studio and Adnan. Still a minute 24 to go here, Adnan. Miami will start on its 25-yard line. This place jumping now with this Knowles trying to end Miami's 8-game overall win streak and extend Jimbo Fisher's record as Florida State head coach to 8-0 against Miami.
This is what it's all about, boys.
Rosier to throw on first down. His pass tipped by Sweat. Incomplete. Josh Sweat at 6'5". Hard to get it over him. He's had 2 knockdowns today. Another pass coming by Rosier, going to the sideline to Berrios. He was knocked out of bounds. There's no force-out rule. It was just a good play by Myers to push Berrios out.
Great play by Myers. You see Berrios extending, but clearly lands out of bounds. Coverage has been extremely tight in the back end. by Florida State. These last couple snaps, they are dialed into this 2-minute offense for Miami.
And the Canes just 5 of 15 on third down. They have to get to the 35-yard line. Rosier steps up, and the receiver, Berrios, comes free for the first down. Why not? Try him again. He's shaken up, but it's a fresh set of downs for Miami, gain of 16.
Keep in mind, you only need a field goal if you're Malik Rosier. Understanding that you still have 2 timeouts to work with, so it's not imperative that you work the sideline yet.
Inside a minute to go, Homer running, and he's into Florida State territory. Got the first down, so the clock will stop as they reset the chains. 48 seconds to go. Miami has 2 timeouts left. Will it come down to a field goal again? Miami, Florida State. Last year, a blocked extra point by FSU on Badgley won the game. They're going to run it again. Homer breaks a tackle, and he is in Badgley's field goal range. He's at the 34-yard line. Again, the clock stops to reset the chains, and they can hold their timeouts after a 14-yard pickup. Badgley's long this season is 50. For his career, he's never missed between 40 and 49 yards. Rosier going to take a shot. The receiver falls down. They rule incidental contact. Cager got tangled up with McFadden. 23 seconds left.
That was well played, guys. I'm standing right in front of that one. Incidental contact. 2 guys trying to position themselves. And Tavares McFadden did a great job forcing Cager to the sideline. They just get tripped up.
How do you handle this, Greg? Do you run the football in this situation with 23 seconds left, try to get a little bit closer?
I'd try to throw it. I would try to find Braxton Berrios and then potentially run it on third down and try to make the field goal a little bit more manageable and center it.
Be a 53-yarder from here. Rosier airing it out. Cager can't get free from McFadden. Again, 19 seconds left. 3rd and 10. Got to run the ball right. You got to try to get 4 or 5 yards here.
Now this is where I'd run it, because not only would I try to make the field goal a little bit more manageable, obviously looking at a plus 50-yard field goal right now where the ball currently sits, but I could also center the football too for the field goal kicker and try to get it there in between the hashes to make it a little bit more manageable for him from a directional standpoint too.
Mark Richt will use a timeout, keep one more. What a shocker. It's coming down to a field goal. It just it doesn't matter on the year or the parties involved in this rivalry. It ends up being about the kicking game. Think of all the great pros that have come out of both of these schools, yet it's the kickers that we always end up talking about. And you got to wonder what's going through Badgley's mind as they're trying to get him a little bit closer.
No doubt. Obviously, the kicking game so huge, and emotion in the kicking game, and the mental preparation that he's going through on the sideline. Can't say I've been there. I haven't ever been a kicker. I've never tried to kick, and I can promise you if I did, it would be ugly. But him making sure that the rep that he's about to take here pretty soon, if in fact Miami doesn't score a touchdown, needs to be like every single rep he's ever had in his life to this point. But then thinking about what Miami might do offensively, I still think running the football, given the success they've had the last couple times they tried to run it, that's what I'd do. And I'd run it to the right-hand side so I can get it in the middle of the field.
Mark Walton not in the game. We wonder if it's because of that ankle. Travis Homer, though, has had some big runs on this drive. Will they give it to him here on 3rd down and 10? Look at Rosier on the road telling the Hurricane fans to get into it. And he's going to throw it on 3rd and long. Berrios on the catch, breaks the tackle, picks up the first down, and out of bounds with 11 seconds to go at the 23-yard line. It'd be about a 40-yard try from here. They have the opportunity to run probably 1, maybe 2 more plays if they choose.
And you see Mark Richt telling him, be smart with the football.
Got to take an end zone shot, right?
Might as well take one.
At this point,
Absolutely.
you're in field goal range.
Absolutely can't get sacked, though. Ball's got to come out of your hands immediately.
Although they do have that one timeout left. Rosier going to take a shot, and it is caught into the end zone. Touchdown, Miami! Darrell Langham with the grab. Canes in front. 6 seconds left. There is a penalty marker down at the 2-yard line.
Rolling on the field is a touchdown after the play was over. Unsportsmanlike conduct against Miami. The previous play is under review.
So they're going to look to see whether Langham made it into the end zone. How about that? They take the shot. Mark Richt uses the clock perfectly there. And Malik Rosier with a beautiful throw. Langham with the catch. And is he down? Well, his knee's down. The question is, does the ball cross the plane? Ruling on the field is a touchdown. Has to be indisputable video evidence to overturn the Miami score.
Man, it's close.
Wow.
It is so tough to tell from that angle.
That's just too tough to tell, guys, from those angles.
It's so difficult to tell. I don't know how you can overturn it based on the angles that we have. It's bang, bang, but where's the ball?
Right
See,
there.
that's a good angle.
But the only thing is you can't see the stripe.
Right. You can't see exactly where the goal line begins. You can see the pylon, and you also can't see his knee from that angle either. So you don't know exactly where it went down. You can assume, but it's really difficult to tell.
And you can't assume. It has to be beyond all doubt to overturn the ruling of a touchdown. I think there's still doubt. Now, how about Malik Rosier and that throw? His 5th career start, trying to end a 7-game losing streak to Florida State, Miami's longest losing streak in the series, and trying to keep them undefeated. Six seconds left.
Just incredible poise by both quarterbacks here in the 4th quarter. These last few drives have been incredible. Just incredible quarterback play by both sides. And how about Langham working against Florida State's best defender, not named Derwin James? They challenge him, and Langham makes a contested catch, and we're going to see whether or not it's confirmed or not in a second, but it appears as though it was the go-ahead score.
Well, I tell you, Greg, the throw by Malik Rosier was just so much better than the previous couple of attempts down to the left sideline where he didn't give the receiver a chance.
So you got Bob Welch, the replay official in Greensboro at the command center. They get involved. There's the knee. Can you tell beyond all doubt that the ball does not cross the plane?
It's so difficult. I mean, it's so difficult to tell from that angle.
I mean, if I had to guess, which we can't do, if I had to guess, it looks like he's short. But you can't guess in this situation because the ruling in the field is a touchdown.
I could really see this one going either way. I really could. And usually when it takes this long, they're looking at something, or they see something that would lead me to think that they might be overturning this, trying to figure out the spot. But this is just so bang, bang. And based on my judgment, if I was the replay official, I would call this a touchdown.
I would too. I'm with you.
I would say the play stands. I can't confirm it, but the play stands as called.
If it were overturned, that would put the ball on the 1. Miami would get to use its final timeout. And then well, they'd have a decision to make then. Try the field goal to tie it and go for the win.
Have a decision.
Yeah. But I'm with you. I think if you're the replay official, Bob Welch, and you're in Greensboro at the command center looking at this, it's a touchdown. You can't overturn that. There's not enough video evidence to, beyond all doubt, say it's not a touchdown.
After review, the ruling off the field stands.
And there it is. 3 catches all season. First time we called his number today is the biggest play of the day. Miami 6 seconds away from ending the 7-game losing streak to Florida State. Badgley to make it a 4-point lead. He was thinking he was going to have to come out and try a long field goal. Instead, he's just out there for the extra point to make it a 4-point game.
Just one-on-one coverage. 11 seconds left. Rosier knows he still has a touchdown in his hip pocket. But you got to think to yourself as a quarterback, let's try to win this thing in regulation and not leave it to chance. Let me find my big 6'4", 220-pound wide receiver in a one-on-one situation and throw a perfect back shoulder and allow that forward momentum to drag the defender into the end zone. Just a motion all around on both sidelines.
Remember, too, Greg and Tom, Mark Richt, he's the play caller, so he's managing the clock down the stretch, and he's calling the plays, dialing up to take the shot, knowing he probably has the field goal. Badgley is very good. He's never missed in his career between 40 and 49. He takes the shot, and they get the touchdown.
And who does he go to on 3rd down to extend the drive? Braxton Berrios. Makes the play, gets down the sideline, sets him up for another set of downs. That guy has been exceptional all game long.
Guys, get ready for laterals. It was 2 years ago in Malik Rosier's first start. Miami, with a bunch of laterals, ended up beating Duke. They kick it deep. There are 2 seconds left. Here's DJ Matthews, and he's still going. And, oh, he could have lateraled it. He kept hold of the ball. He goes down, and the game is over. Miami ends the streak. Florida State's 7-game win streak over the Hurricanes is over. Miami stays undefeated. The Canes win in Tallahassee. On to Bama, A&M, and Joe Tess.